everyone, and welcome to Eternal Mooncast, a streaming show about deep dives into everything Sailor Moon. From band theories to hidden lore to full character studies, we cover everything magical in the Mooners. I'm your host, Michi, and with me is this month is our co-host, is Relia.
Yay! So, before we dive into this month's show, a quick Mooney disclaimer. We would like to remind everyone that these are just our personal opinions. We do not in any way represent Toei or the Sailor Moon intellectual property. We just really like to talk about Sailor Moon. And for tonight's topic, we'll be talking about the influence of ice skating on the creation of Sailor Moon and how that influence has continued to show up in the series. And we're really excited to have our special guest with us this month, the wonderful Kawaii Kiwi cosplay.
Hi
So,
guys.
hi. So, we're going to talk. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about Kawaii Kiwi cosplay. They are a Hispanic and LGBTQ plus cosplayer with a background as a professional figure skater and actress slash model with 6 years of experience in the cosplay community. She's become an accomplished performer and skilled crafter. So true. Outside of cosplay crafting and competing, Kiwi has built a large following on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube through her original cosplay comedy skits. Known for her creativity and humor, Kawaii Kiwi cosplay continues to inspire others to embrace their identities and express themselves through the art of cosplay. I have to say, this is all very true. Like, my particular favorite is absolutely the short form videos that you do. Like, always your pairing videos, whether it's Seiya and Usagi or like Haruka and Michiru,
Yes.
are always so on point and so funny. I love them.
I love them. They're my favorite characters. I just love cosplaying Sailor Moon so much. It's like my biggest hyperfixation.
Wonderful intro and wonderful guests. Hello, everybody, and I hope you're excited for an exciting episode.
Yeah. So, Kiwi, so how did you get into Sailor Moon? Tell us that.
You know them. The Last Black Moon was like, hey, you should watch Sailor Moon because you really do seem like Sailor Moon. And I'm like, huh? And I was basically strapped onto the chair with rope tied up and was forced to watch Sailor Moon with them. So
I love this. So I love two things about this. First, this is like assigned Sailor Moon a friend. And then this is also we are in this fandom, we are such pushers. Like we were like, all right, who else can I get to
oh,
also get
for
into the Sailor Moon
sure.
fandom? Like you will love it, you will love it, you will love it. That is how we are. We just
It's
recruit.
so funny because, like, at first I was like, no, because I watched it when I was little. Like, I'm
Hmm.
Dominican, so my mom grew up in Dominican Republic, and so I remember going to her house over there and like we watching like just random cartoons, and Sailor Moon was one of them that popped up, and I didn't realize it was an anime or Sailor Moon. I was literally like 5, and I was just watching it, and I honestly had no idea what was going on. I was literally 5. All I liked was her hair, and ever since then, that would make sense why all my drawings of any girl had little swirls for
Oh my
hair
god.
on the
Oh
I
my
love
side.
god.
that.
So,
It
like,
is
but I
so
didn't
cute.
know that was Sailor Moon until I started watching Sailor Moon because I was like, I saw that episode before. I don't know when or how, but I
Oh, that's
saw
so
it. And
funny.
then I got more interested in it. And I don't know, like, just when all the characters start having like more like personality, I would say season 5. That's when
Yeah,
I
well,
fall
yeah.
more in love with it.
Season
Yeah.
5 is very much like I agree, season 5 is very much in a class of its own. I think that there are standouts in some of the characters in like I think that in S, you certainly do get
Yes.
some really strong
Yes.
characterization for certain
Yes.
characters, but it's you spend a lot of time with I think especially the inners before they get too much time in, which is maybe to some extent the idea that like they're going to be here for the whole time. You'll have plenty of time to get to know
Oh
them,
yeah.
but I love those, like, character-focused
Oh,
episodes,
I
so
love it.
my
I
favorite.
love all the fillers. Like I loved every single one of them. I thought they were so cute. I don't know. It just has so much personality in season 5 because I feel like that whole thing was like filler. I never read the Sailor Moon manga. Just don't come at me.
All
but
fans are welcome.
I
but
actually
I
well,
love the show.
I love that the Sailor Moon fandom has that cross section of really people's different experiences with how did you experience Sailor Moon and which parts of it have and haven't you experienced? Because there will also
Mhm.
be like increasingly, there can certainly be people who never experienced the original 90s series
Mhm.
because they're just younger. And so for them, it was Crystal and onward. And so they may never know how different characterization wise
Yes.
and plot wise that
Yes.
is, so they were going to have completely different feelings about this plot and these characters than we would. Same with people who like have or haven't read the manga and the way that they approach it. Like, I think it's really interesting that you get people drawn to the different things for different reasons. So I actually love that.
I love it. I also really love how there's a lot of skating stuff in Sailor Moon, which is actually so funny because that's got me really into it. Especially, I was like, looking at the transformations, I was like, huh, interesting. Outfits really familiar. And I'm like, huh, all these poses. I'm like, this is really funny. And that's what got me more and more into it too.
That's perfect. We so love that, like, that you pitched this topic because I think you were absolutely spot on that, and we are very excited to get into that kind of thing.
Yay.
Yes, and
So,
we have done our homework, so we have quite an interesting show for you. We're gonna go over the Cherry Project, and then we're gonna actually break down the influences in Sailor Moon and ice skating, and then we're gonna wrap it up with Prism on Ice.
oh yeah, oh, I have so much to say about it.
I'm so interested to hear
I
your
am so
perspective.
disappointed. Okay, sorry.
All right, so let's start in with Naoko Takeuchi's interest in figure skating.
Yeah, so this is a short topic. We don't Takeuchi-san is often very private about herself. Despite being such a public figure, she's not often out in the fandom, so we have limited knowledge of a lot of things about her based on what she has chosen to share. And one of the things that we have as a source is the fact that especially her project, the Cherry Project, she's given us these little aside notes here and there on some of the pages where she gives us insight into her life. And one of the things that is mentioned on one of those side notes is that she was into figure skating as a child. So it's cool to know that this is something that has like always been with her and that she has then carried forward with her. I think that's also like, I don't know. So, Kiwi, this is a question for you.
Yeah.
Is figure skating is this a very expensive hobby to be into? In the way that I know that ballet, you're
Yes.
replacing your shoes every like 6 performances. It's
Mhm.
incredibly expensive to keep up with. And is figure skating the same way?
Yes, it's actually one of the most expensive sports to be part of because it's not like in part of any school systems or anything like that. So it's not a school sport. It is its own identity. And it's just like you need to have the passion for it and also the finances, which really sucks because there's so many kids that love skating and it's just a financial issue. But skating is such a beautiful sport and sometimes it works, it works.
Yeah, it is I agree. Like I think that if you think about it is perhaps the arguably and probably in many people's opinion the most beautiful
Oh,
sport that is performed. It's there's certainly obviously I think you can make the same case for various gymnastic sports and things like
yes.
that, but figure skating is incredibly beautiful even in the male competitive arena where athleticism is more of a focus than artistry. It's still beautiful.
It is.
So I think that the reason I asked about the price point for being having a hobby of figure skating is because this would not be our first indication that Takeuchi-san's hobbies and interests are high end.
Really?
Certainly, so she loves expensive sports cars. She owns many of them. There are like magazine interviews with her where you can see her posing on her sports cars, and she loves high fashion. And we have I think we probably have previous episodes, if not the recording of Michi, your panel that you've given about fashion in Sailor Moon. But so
Mhm.
much of the fashion specifically in Sailor Moon is literally ripped from runways, is ripped from designers
Yes.
directly. And she loves things that are a little bit expensive, and
We'll
her
pick the right
heroines
sport.
Yep, and her heroines tend to be of a higher economic class. Usagi lives in a freestanding two-story home, uh,
Yes. Yes.
which is not easily
No.
achievable in Tokyo. So yeah, I think this is another sign that maybe she is from a background that is similar in that way. So I thought it was, although we don't know, we just know this footnote basically that she had this interest in figure skating as a child, trying to extrapolate from that and what we know about her. This is maybe another indication of the economic bracket that she came from.
Maybe. or it could be something that she always wished to have because I
Oh,
know in Japan there's only like 3 ice skating rinks. Like,
really?
yes, in the whole country. I was trying like because when I went there, I was like, I want to go ice skating in Japan. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
And literally the only rink that was nearby my friend's place was literally like 2 hours away. And I was like, okay, where's another ice skating rink? Really down south, like a flight away. So there's not a lot of ice skating rinks that are indoor that is like a training center. That's what I've noticed. I don't know if they have it just open in the wintertime, that the outdoor skating rink, or they have like some pop-ups. So they probably do have that, especially in the wintertime. But from what I noticed for like a facility of skating, I have not been to any like a lot of them. The one I went to was really cool. It was the same place where Johnny Weir was skating.
Oh, wow.
So it was really cool to be like, oh my god, he was just here. We just like missed each other.
That's
Yeah, but skating is really expensive. So let me just give you an idea. For professional figure skates, the skates that I have right now are at least $2,000. That is including the boot and the blade. All right. Basically $1,000 each. And they're from Italy.
oof.
So the skaters that you see right now, they're very much into the Idea skates. They're like the Italian brand. Very strong skates. I love them. Some skaters would probably do Radels or Jacksons. Those are more like American based from what I know. And those could get very pricey because you can get custom made as well. Yeah, custom made skates are very pricey as well because I had customs before. So if you think about that, you had to get new skates every like 9 months. So that's just like the base of the skates. Now, coaching, like it could go for like if you're training, like if you're the Olympians, I think coaches are getting paid at least 80,000 for that just skater, one skater, if you think about that. And that's the one skater that is paying for all their coaches, I would say. So that means coach, your main coach, which is like the organizer of everything. Then there's a choreographer, makes your programs, make sure they're nice and neat, and you still will have the choreographer to make sure that everything is nice, clean, and polished. Then there is a jump specialist, which makes sure that your jumps are nice and clean and getting new jumps, maybe in the pole harness, maybe doing dartfish, which is like a video. Have you seen Ice Princess? You know how they were like recording it and do like the whole physics aspect? That's what I think of dartfish. Then off ice training, which is doing the jumps off ice, stretching, ballet, nothing about that, adding ballet to it, gym training, yoga, like Pilates. This is all and what an Olympic athlete has to do just to maybe make it to the Olympics or a national athlete to maybe make it. So it's a lot of training for that. Skating dresses now is a little bit easier. You can buy dresses online, you can connect with other people from other countries to get dresses. Like my skaters get dresses from different countries as well. But before, like in when I was growing up, we had to go to a dress designer and we had to customize our dress, figure out how it will look, almost like in cosplay, you know how you had to do the fittings and all
Mhm.
that. So you do the fittings, design it, and they bring it to life for you. And sometimes you had to help out. That's what I had to do. And that made per dress could be at least $700 for a dress, and you need two if you're doing solo skating or even pairs because you need multiple dresses for a routine. So it's a really expensive sport. And there's probably so much more that go into it. So that's just like baseline for a national athlete. You do, if you are a national level athlete, you do can get sponsorships from like the skates. You can get new skates by the company. Sometimes the skating club will pay for your coaches, but it's very expensive. And then on top of that, you had to pay for ice time too. Oh my God, ice time as well. Like at least $20 for an hour. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a lot. And then
Oh
paying
my
to be in the
goodness.
competitions too. You got to pay to compete. So yeah, it's a lot. It's crazy. You're probably like,
It,
whoa, hold
Uh,
on.
I'm
Oh,
like,
no,
this tracks for
I can
Naoko.
easily believe it. This is not by function of the fact that, like, this is inherently a sport where you wear specialized shoes with knives on them and you skate on, like, an enclosed area that is covered in ice. That's not something that you can just do, like, walking down to the end of the street to a regular park and just hang out and do with people. This is inherently you need a special area and special equipment to perform this, so you need those things to practice it as well. Like, it doesn't surprise me for this to be a very
Mhm.
expensive sport.
It's like you grow up to getting there because like it's not like
Sure.
you go right there and be like, I'm gonna be an Olympic champion. Which we do get those sometimes. As a coach, I see that. So they're like, I want to be an Olympic champion. When we get the most expensive skates and it's my first day skating, no. You need to get like it's all levels through. So
Mhm.
if you are a young skater, yeah, skating every day is great, but also there's like you need to rest as well. Like resting and making sure your skates are for your level. So like it does grow up. What I was just telling you was like Olympics skaters.
Mhm.
That's what they're doing. Or even skaters who are going to nationals or world championships. That's what they're dealing with. Most of the time they get sponsorships, so that really does help with them. But it's very rare to get sponsorships because there's a lot of skaters, but also it's just it's like there's a lot of skaters, but also not a lot of skaters. It's very weird. Like it's like cosplayers. Like there's a lot of cosplayers, but there's also not a lot of cosplayers at
Yeah,
the same
yeah, I
time.
know
Like you
exactly
know, it's
what you
like a big
mean. Yep.
community, but small at the same. Like we
Mhm.
all know each other, but also it's not like you walk outside and there's like, oh, a skater right there, you know. But yeah, it is a crazy world out there.
No, thank you for breaking that down for us. That really gave me a much better perspective.
Yes, and there's just like it's the training, and it's so hard because it's just like a lot of the time of these skaters, they're young. They You'll see a lot of skaters that are in nationals really young getting there. And it's really hard on the body. Like now with like there's a when I was skating 10 years ago in my peak, the jumps that we were doing are not the jumps that they're doing right now. So right now they're doing quads, which was oh my god, that would never happen. We were like that's never happening ever. And then all of a sudden you were like, oh my god, there's a quad that's like rare. There was like a skater or two that did a quad, but we didn't see like 7 quads in a program. That was like of your mind. Like you that was never gonna happen. And now here I am like, okay, there's gonna be a skater that's gonna do 6 rotations in the air, like before I die. Like it's gonna happen. But it's insane how crazy this sport been. During a time when she was making the Cherry Project, I noticed that it was more when it's not my time when I was skating, it was like after. So like my coaches was during that time. So the skaters that she mentioned are skaters that I seen at the skating rink. They're skaters that coached me before and they were all great. They're amazing. And like they're doing, I think Midori Ito, she mentioned her. She was doing triples like no tomorrow, which is very rare for skaters at the time, for female skaters to do. I'm pretty sure, was she one of the first ones to do a triple axel? I'm pretty sure she was.
She
I don't
might have
know. I
been. I
think so.
would
I
not
think
know
she
off the top of my
was.
head.
But she was like one of the first ones to land triples. Like she was amazing. And back then, everyone was skating more gracefully, if I could say. It was more like dancing on ice. I was
Mhm.
like jump, jump, spin, spin, spin.
Yeah, yeah. We do have a question in our chat, which
Yes.
is chat is asking, Lady Chapel asks, what is the difference between a short program and a long program?
Okay, so a short program has about, depending on the level, it has like 3 to 4 jumps in it, depending if you're man or female. Like there's 3 to 4 jumps, there's 3 spins, and one footwork or choreographic step, maybe two, depending on the level. So the short program could be like 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes, and then the long program, it's literally long program. So it was like 4 minutes long and you had like 6 jump passes. 3 of them has to be in a combination, 3 spins, choreographic step sequence or spiral sequence. When I was skating, it was spiral sequence, and a footwork. So there's more point value in the long program than the short program. A lot of times, the short program could be the qualifications to get into the long program. So a lot of competitions do that. And then they combine the scores, and if you get a high score, you win. That's really the difference.
That's so cool. And like, I wish I had this episode before I read the Cherry Project, because the Cherry Project actually talks a little bit about what you're talking
Yes.
about. And it was, now it's actually like, oh, this is so
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Like,
That's why I like it. I was like, oh my God, this is great. I love it.
Let's get into the Cherry Project. So, to tell our audience a bit about the Cherry Project, I think that Western audiences may not be familiar with the existence of this short series. And that's because this was never received an official English translation. So, the most people have never heard of it. It's only 3 volumes long, and the reason that older fans like me are probably more familiar with, and the reason that I was the one who knew it existed, is because back in the day, we were blessed by one of our fandom greats, and if you're an older fan, you will know of Miss Dream. Miss Dream was out there translating the absolute most for us. She provided translations of all of the like the materials collection, the various art books. She provided translations of the manga and of Takeuchi-san's other projects, for example, the Cherry Project, but there were also some standalone works that she had done as well. And those all used to be archived and available on Miss Dream's site. They If you want to find them now, I would encourage you to make use of the Wayback Machine, and that's what I'll say about that. But yeah, Miss Dream did the absolute most for us. We really want to give that shout out there because obviously we wouldn't be able to access works like the Cherry Project in English without her incredible efforts. This is a really fun manga series. It follows basically the main characters are going to be Asuka Cherry and Suzuki Masanori, who are it's essentially the main boy and the main girl. And Cherry is your main character. She's very cute. She's a very cute high schooler with blonde hair, blue eyes, and pigtails. And she is the daughter of a former Japanese Olympic skating champion. Now, in the entire 3 volumes of the project, we literally never learn her father's name. It's never mentioned. Like, obviously, we know his last name is the same as hers, but at no point does this come up at any time. Her father's role in the manga is very strange. You would think he would be more involved, but he is not. Anyway, she comes by her interest in skating through her father, and that's how she has some experience at skating. And as a child, she has been a fan of a fellow child skater who was the Japanese national youth champion, Suzuki Masanori, and she's obsessed with him. She has poster of him on her wall. I don't remember if she actually like kisses it before she goes to school, but I
she
picture
literally kisses it
okay, I
every
picture
day.
that. Like she was hooked on him. And he meanwhile, what we know about him is that he is, let's say, a person of exceptional wealth. He is the child of a CEO of some kind of business company, let's just say, some unfun company that makes a lot of money. And his father wants him to take over the company and is like, as soon as you are done high school, you are taking over the company. I will have no more of this skating pish tosh. And so, frankly, you should give it up now. And he really doesn't want to. And so he knows he basically only has like 1 year left of ice skating because he's got 1 year left of high school. And he's decided, and I don't remember if it's ever explained in the series why he specifically wants to pair skate, but he specifically wants to pair skate. He just decides, even though he's been a solo skater before, he's like, I really want to do pair skating and I have to find my partner. And he discovers Cherry, who is very skilled, again, because she's the child of a champion who has been presumably figure skating with her father for fun for however many years. He discovers her, and what he discovers about her is that her special talent, and this sort of is the main theme throughout the series, is that she is like a perfect mimic of other ice skaters. She struggles with artistry, and that will be a problem with her for the entire series because she is just copying other skaters that she admires. So he and his two friends see her and they think she would be the
The three
perfect, yeah, the
lights.
three lights basically. They're like, she would be the perfect partner for you because she skates exactly like you specifically. She does jumps like a male skater. She looks specifically like she's skating like you. Isn't that perfect for pair skating? And he's like, yes, but also it's going to be a problem for her skating the fact that she is mimicking rather than developing her own artistry. But I want to skate with her. Let's do this project to turn her into the perfect pair skating partner for him. And so they these three rich boys transfer to her school into her class. And then they decide that for the school festival, their class is going to do an ice skating performance. Now, you're thinking to yourself, wow, does their high school have an ice skating rink? No, it does not. What Suzuki Masanori has is so much money, so he builds them one just for this performance. And they convince
Sophisticated
I
Cherry.
need
goals.
him in my life.
Where can we all find a
Can we
man?
please find him?
To
Thank you,
as
ice
a
skating
side
rings.
note, he also in his personal home has his own ice skating rink that's just for him that only he skates at. He gives her a key so she can come practice there too. So yeah, we all need a very rich boy who encourages us to pursue our hobbies. So they tell Cherry, you're going to skate this. We're going to come up with this routine. She's practicing. There are some stumbles in the ways, there are some obstacles. She skates the thing, and then the next sort of stage of her development is that she meets she meets the princess, which is another character who is Princess Canty, and they all call her that because she's just so talented and good. She is in fact very talented and good. She has incredible artistry. Cheery both admires her and desperately wants to skate just like her, and yet also is in this rivalry with her because she wants to basically supplant her. Cherry decides that she wants to be a solo figure skating champion. This is terrible news for the lads because although they haven't told her this, they of course want her to be his pair skating partner. So this is like they're like if she has to spend time becoming a solo skater where she's going to have her own artistry, this will take forever. She'll never be done in time to pair skate with Suzuki. And also they're like, and she will suck at it because she has no artistry. She's just copying people. That does continue to be a problem for her over the course of the series. Those are the problems they're dealing with. They're dealing with Suzuki has to go away. Cherry sucks at having her own personality in skating. She's trying to go from zero to winning like girls' youth nationals within a year, and all of this within the course of 3 volumes of a webcomic. So it's a wild ride. There are some things in here that I suspect are not physically possible or perhaps not recommended. If you let's say that you were about to compete for your badge test to qualify at a competitive level and you got permission to do all of them in one day. Incredible. But let's say that after the first few tests, you go to take a break. And when you come back to put on your skate, you find that someone has put broken glass in your skate and you cut up the crap out of your foot. Would you then put that skate on and then continue to do the rest of your badge tests?
Sure, why not?
Cherry sure does. She sure does. No problem. Problem, but yet she does fine. So there's a lot in here, but it's very cute. I think it's really an interesting insight into the kinds of storytelling that Takeuchi-san is clearly interested in and the ways in which she focuses those stories, how she approaches characters and empathy are all really interesting. I think someone in chat asked a question earlier that we will try to get back to later about Yuri on Ice, but I think that there is a lot of spiritual similarity between the storyline of the Cherry Project and the conceit of Yuri on Ice, including that I have the same issue with both of them. But I do think it's interesting. Like if you are interested in skating and skating manga, and if you have an interest in Yuri on Ice, read the Cherry Project. I think you'll be interested in the ways that there are some similarities there. So, Michi, you had so many perfect notes on the Cherry project, both notes on what's interesting about it,
Yes.
and then also we have some really interesting connections directly in some cases between the Cherry project and the world in which the Cherry project exists and Sailor Moon. Spoilers, the same world.
Same world. Gotta
Same
be.
world. Love that.
And I'm sorry, as soon as I flipped to this page, I was like, why are the 3 lights in my
Yes.
manga?
Like, yeah,
I'm like, hello?
no, seriously.
No, this is if Taiki and Yaten were supportive of Seiya's endeavors. This would be what it is.
Facts. I totally agree. I really do agree. Oh my god.
And honestly, I love supportive Taiki. Like, I can't remember their real names because I renamed them in my head.
Thanks. I want to rename them too.
I was about to say I have the PDF up, but it was in Firefox, so I'll just reopen the PDF and I will tell you. All right, I'm just going to open it not in Firefox because we know that Firefox before was
Glitching you
making
out.
my internet a little bit slow.
Oh no.
It's not Firefox itself.
Yeah.
Firefox itself never does me wrong. It's the fact that I have like 188 tabs open in
Oh, I mean,
Firefox. So
That's a you.
that's on me. That's on me. Okay, for the characters, the 3 light who wears the baseball cap is he's of the 2 of Suzuki's friends, he's a more standoffish because he's the more goals oriented. He's Fujiwara Hiroshi. The comment here says Suzuki's best friend, director of project music coordination. So he put together the music for Cherry's original school festival performance. He's the music guy.
Oh my god, it is
Yeah.
Taiki.
So
holy
then
shit, that
other
reminds me so much. Sorry to interrupt. I
no, go
also
ahead.
forgot about that. Around this time, they didn't have CDs or MP3s where you put it in the phone. It's a tape. It
Oh!
is a tape, by
Oh
the
my
way.
god. Oh
So
my
you
god,
had
a
to go to a
cassette tape.
specialist
Oh!
to make music for the
Oh my
programs.
god. Oh my
I
god.
forgot. That was a
Amazing.
memory when I was like 5 when they did the tape recordings, going to the room where they had to take out the tapes, take it, mix it together. Oh my
Oh
God.
my god. Amazing.
Whoa. So that's why. So, yes, that makes make so much sense. Sorry.
Yeah, so that was what he was doing.
That's
So then
crazy.
the other boy, which is the long-haired ponytail boy, aka, in my opinion, the most attractive of the 3 boys, is Akiyama Koichi, Suzuki's best friend also, director of project management. Of note, he is also Princess Kanti's brother, but he is the nicest one. He's always the most empathetic. He, in my opinion, shows the most outward care towards Cherry. Suzuki, as the main boy, has to be a little bit more like inscrutable and difficult to understand. But I like Koichi. He's a nice boy.
I'm just like, I can't get over them. It's like seeing them in a
But
different
yeah,
manga.
yeah, they are so giving 3 lights, and they're those are his posse. Those are his two guys.
Yes, and then the next picture, oh, this is one of let me see if I can zoom it in. There we go. So this is one of Noko's notes. It says, when I first began to serialize Cherry, I said, now accepting application to do Cherry's costume design, which I thought was so cool. Can you imagine, like, your work makes it into a Naoko Takeuchi
I'll
manga?
Mhm.
Like,
die.
Yep.
I'll die happy
yeah, frame that on my wall, frame it on my
for
coffin,
sure.
but keep going. But everyone said you're out of your mind, and thanks to thousands of attempts and some compromise, thank you very much. Sounds like Naoko. I love her. I finally got the hang of it. To be honest, I really was inspired a lot during drawing by this
Obo. Yeah.
oboe music. I almost, yeah, don't ask me what I almost said, but it makes me so happy. I'm so grateful to it. And thanks for all your postcards too. They're getting heavy. I can only imagine. Many of the outfits I made look like Chinese clothes crossed with fairy clothes, and she looks a bit like a bunny too. Ooh, it's like we're
I like a
seeing little
bunny. Uh-huh.
tiny footsteps of what's to come. And I put way too many ribbons on Cherry's clothes. You always like to curse us cosplayers, don't you? But thanks for helping me through the struggles of the designs, Miss Akimo. Even now, right now on my desk, I have a lot of design catalogs. Thank you to all of the illustrators out there who let me borrow them. I really love them.
Yeah,
Ugh,
and if you
costumes.
do read the Cherry Project, Cherry changes costumes like any time that she could possibly
Love
have
it.
changed clothes. The girl is a little ice skating fashion plate, and I love that for her.
So cute. I like if you just go to a skating competition, I just came from one today. Just seeing all the girls in different outfits, and then some of them had a quick change to another outfit because they're competing at different group. It just every outfit is unique because it's for their music. So like I could just imagine what music she's skating to. Like when I was like looking at some of her designs, I'm like, ooh, it would be like this, or ooh, it would be like that. Like I can see.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, and ribbons, you have to have a lot of ribbons, like lots of glitter, lots of shine, bows, like everything. All the accessories, everything.
Yes, I love
Honestly,
it.
and honestly, that's perfect for Takeuchi's aesthetic because she loves all of
Yes.
that glam. So I
Yep.
love that for her.
It's all glam.
So this was a really cool panel. And let me
Yes.
zoom it in a bit.
You will
So
never
one of
see me do this, by the way. Never.
the
I'll cry, by the
It's
way. I will
this
be like,
panel. Oh, go ahead.
no, please go ahead. Like
Yeah, I was gonna say this panel is one of the things that I actually wanted to point out that's so interesting about the Cherry Project is that I think when we all think of the Sailor Moon manga, we think of the fact that like their legs are made of noodles and they're like 900 feet long because she loves the drama of a leggy, and who doesn't? But in the Cherry Project, I think because she was trying to show these actual figure skating moves and depict them correctly, her anatomy is actually much less stylized and more
mhm,
towards a normal physical anatomy. I think because she's again trying to execute skating moves in a way that looks visually familiar. So it is
for
interesting to
sure.
see that like she used to draw legs that looked more like humans could actually possess them.
Yeah.
I'm
Honestly, that list looks
sorry.
good to me. I like her point. Her turnout looks great. It's very scary, by the way, because being on blades that high, no thank you.
Whew.
It is
yeah.
so dangerous. I don't think people understand how dangerous it is to do pair skating because there's ice dancing. So ice
Mhm,
dancing and pairs, there's two difference. Pairs is jumps, anything that's over your shoulders up. So they do
mhm.
the twists, the jumps, and everything above the shoulders. Ice dancing, it's not really there's any jumps there. A lot of the lifts are shoulders down. So not nothing up. So like when paired skaters, they'll be on their hands, like acrobatics up. And I'm here like, and it is very rare to find a pair team that like skates in your area. I travel around with skating. So there was a few pairs teams that I skated on the ice with, and we have right of ways, right? So solo skaters basically like goes by level. If you're a little baby skater, stay away from that skater that's going to do a triple right in your face. So you run to the boards. Right of ways go with music. If you are practicing your program, everybody respects you. So then you can do your program without being like in the way. Then there's ice dancers. You stay away from the ice dancers. You run. Even the like the senior level, which is the highest level, like the Olympic level, run away from the ice dancers too. Because if you're in the way, you're getting collided by two skaters that are
Mhm.
speeding around the ice. And it's not like they can easily move out of your way because they're holding on to each other and turning and dancing, right? So it's better for you to go away. At least their patterns are easy. It's just like this a lot. So you're able to get away easily. Now there's pair skaters. You run if they come near you because not only you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna hurt them as well, and for sure you'll hurt them. And it's literally almost impossible to skate when there's a pairs team on the ice. Like sometimes if there's a multiple pairs teams on the ice, it would just only be a pair ice dancing and maybe like some high level skate sorry, some high level skaters. But yeah, so it is so dangerous. They don't even practice much with helmets. Like you would think that they wear a helmet. No, they don't. Even solo skaters, we don't wear helmets. So like doing all that, terrifying. And the speed that they're doing it, like learning all this, it's literally impossible. Like that is crazy to me that they're doing all these tests. He wants to do all these lifts with her, and I'm here like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, the anxiety. So no matter how much talent, that is so dangerous.
No,
So
that's why
dangerous.
I pointed out this panel because if you look close at he's like, okay, now here's the finishing move. A throw jump, spin as fast as you can. What?
Can you
Like
scroll
No,
down?
thank
Can
you.
you scroll down to the part where he throws her?
and then let's see, can I zoom in on that? That's the question. Ah, why me a technology? There we go. Yeah, just yeets.
Yep.
Beautiful air precision. So good. I love it.
Just so
A
dangerous, though. So
And I
So
dangerous.
love this
dangerous.
little Naoko note down here. A throw jump plus the female is assisted in a spin when the male partner tosses her midair.
Yeah, that is so dangerous. Like I tried doing throw jumps before with some skaters I skated with for fun, and they just like threw me in the jump like into a loop. It is difficult because as a solo skater, getting into like I'm like already like positioning into it. As a solo skater, you get the warp, like you get that torque we call it, like that snap in. Now you're having someone else assisting that, which is very weird in the beginning because they take your hips and they just push you, which feels like it's cheating. Like I don't know, it feels cheating to me, but that's how it's supposed to be. And the way that they lift you, you're like going triple the amount of height that you usually do solo. You're flying high in the air. It's like you're putting your hands. No, thank you. So if you're going jumping so high in the air and then landing, that impact, oh my god, on
Yeah.
your knees, that hurts. The skates are designed to take in the impact, but like I don't know how the older skates, like when I was growing up, yeah, my skates were good, but like back then before that, I'm like, how are they doing triples in those skates? That is like painful in a way because the shock. I remember when I was younger, I used to get a shooting pain from my ankle all the way to my back when I land a jump. And because my skates were not getting in the pressure, absorbing the shock of the
Mm.
jump. And then that's when I got newer skates. But the pain doing all that is crazy.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
And to be
I give so
clear,
much props to those
Cherry
skaters.
is very bad at landings. Like she has a consistent problem where like she's trying to do, and I don't remember, I think at the time she's maybe trying to do a triple, but she ends up almost doing a quadruple rotation. And because she's doing too much, she just keeps flubbing her landings. So this girl can't land for shit. And yet he's chucking her in the air. I'm like, she's not ready for that. What are you doing?
She was a solo skater first. So like in a way she probably could do all these jumps and she was doing like what I was saying, like I was a solo skater and then trying with the pairs, that extra rotation like helped her makes it a little bit more than what you're expecting. Because
Sure.
that
Hmm.
happened to me. So that could be the case. That's what I'm thinking.
That makes
So
sense.
That's interesting. That's interesting. But no, when
yeah.
she solo skates, and I think it's because she imprinted her solo skating on Suzuki, and he's more of a male, like powerful
Mhm.
skater. She does these unexpectedly powerful jumps and then has more power and is over rotating when she's doing her own jumps and sucks. So then when she does it with him, she also sucks at landings. She did not fix the problem in singles and therefore continues to
And
be
here
worse
it
in
is in
doubles. But
pairs. It's crazy to me that she's copying because that's like I can see it copying. I can see skaters. They just it's like mocking. Like they're doing it, but has no like feeling to it.
yep,
And that's how I see her skating. So I see Cherry like doing everything, but not like going and feeling all the emotions to the piece and not having her own style. So like you can do one thing, you could be like, put your hand here.
mhm,
And but there's other skaters could be like over here. And she just does or just
Yeah.
copies the person but doesn't really have the feeling in her. It's
yep.
weird to say.
I think it's very interesting. Like it's a very I think it's an interesting concept that her problem is the problem that she's very good at mimicking and very difficult at bringing grace and artistry and soul into her performance because it's the opposite of what you would expect from a manga series that is aimed at girls. Generally, they tend to emphasize things that are considered feminine, which are like your soft skills, and something like empathy would be thought of as a soft skill. So, a lot of times you would expect that her skill, her natural talent would be her incredible artistry, that she just embodies the soul of every music that she performs, and then she struggles with this or that technically. And Takeuchi has gone the complete opposite direction and been like, no, technically she's incredible, especially at she can see someone else's artistry and be like, that looks amazing. I want to do that. And then just do exactly that. But she has no idea how to feel a piece of music. I think it's interesting to see that particular take on what it is that she struggles with being like how to feel a piece and then express that through your artistry.
It's funny you say that, but honestly, it's very common in the skating world.
Is it really?
Really?
It is. Especially now that everything's so technical in skating. So like the jumps, everybody's focusing on jumps and spins. They're not thinking about that second component score. So there's like the first score is the elements that you do. So like jumps, spins, footwork, stuff like that. The second one is like performance, skating skills, like all the emotion, like all that, like choreography. So a lot of the times the skaters, the second score is so much lower than the top score. And I think it's because everybody's focusing on getting that triple, getting that jump, getting that spins, like getting all that, that you're losing the feeling of the music, you're losing the artistry. You have like no feelings in skating. So now it's actually rare to find someone that has feelings in their program, has a soul. So it's very interesting. Like a lot of the you don't see that on TV. That's what more of like the younger skaters, the younger elite skaters, that they're having an issue with that right now because they're so focused on jumping. They're like, they're thinking when they're skating, they're like, jump, okay. And then like, oh yeah, arm, this, jump. And there's like nothing in their face. They're like, this. They don't like to smile anymore. Skaters, because skating with a smile is so distracting to them because they remembering to smile could throw them off from
Right.
that jump because of focus. A lot of times, like the younger skaters are sticking their tongue out. They're like, or like playing with their like. I had a skater that was literally like this, like the whole time while they were skating. I was like, okay, honey, like what are you doing? And then a lot of my older skaters, they try to smile when they see me. I'm like, like I'm like that in the boards because a lot of the coaches are doing what the skaters are doing. I'm like going down, like okay, count, count, go up, up, in, and then when I see them that they're doing their program, they're almost at the end. They have not smiled once. I'm like this to the board. They're like, geez, geez, smile. And sometimes they see that and they're like, oh. So it's really hard right now. It's like actually a really hard skill, and maybe that's what she noticed. I have a feeling maybe she has some skating history because like there's no way for you to really like know all this without being there. If that makes sense, unless she like has a friend that skated or something. Like I don't know. Like it's just really hard to know all this without having any skating knowledge. So for her to make a manga, like it's really interesting. So it makes me really excited. Like, oh, maybe she skated. Maybe she was a little skater. Who knows?
I
It seems
wonder.
like either she skated or she was like a really big fan. Like it
Yes,
seems like,
she's a big
which is so
fan.
cool.
It's just so cool, especially like Sailor Moon. Sorry, going back to Sailor Moon. The outfits
Yeah.
are a skating dress. It is a skating dress. Yes.
And you know
It's
what's
a
funny?
skating dress.
That
And the
didn't hit
tights.
me. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's like everything. It's like it's a skating dress. No, go on, go on.
No, I was just gonna be like, I did not put two and two together until Relia was like, "It's a skating dress," and I'm like,
Let me tell you, here's how much of a skating dress it is.
"It is!"
If you are in the Sailor Moon cosplay community and you have ever made a Sailor Fuku, you may be one of the people who has used as their pattern for their bodice, for their skating, for their Sailor Moon Fuku costume, specifically a skating dress pattern.
Green pepper.
Green pepper, that's the one I used.
We Yep, green pepper from the good old days, Sparkle Pipsy.
Yeah, Sparkle Pipsy, the creator of the original like thorough exhaustive guide of how to make a Sailor Moon Fuku, which was
Yeah,
basically what I followed when I made my first Fuku. So
same.
we nothing but love for Sparkle Pipsy in this house.
Yes. Yeah, this she gotta be a skater. I don't know. I feel like she's a skater. In my head, she's a skater. I'm just gonna say, like, she's a big fan. She's gotta be something. Like, maybe she was skating and stopped, or has a friend that wasn't skating. Like, there's gotta be something. I swear, there's something there.
You now have your own fan theory.
But
Naoko
I
Takeuchi is a
do
skater.
know the Japanese fan base for skating is huge. One of my skating friends, she's a world champion skater from Japan. I'll throw her name, Miki Ando. She like I train with her a lot. She's more of my mom's friend because we like talked a lot and they'd be watching me while I was skating. She's like, "Oh, he's doing good," blah blah blah. So my mom and I were we talking to her and she's like, "Ah, I'm going to Japan again." I'm like, "Yeah, great, go back to Japan." She's like, "No." And bringing back Yuri on Ice, you know how Yuri went back to Japan and everybody knew who he was. Skating is very big in Japan. They really like those skaters. They one time I remember she said that she went Miki Ando went to somewhere. I think she just left a place and there was like paparazzis everywhere. And she was like, "Yeah, it's not a fun time to go there because they're watching her everywhere." In America, she can do whatever she wants and not feel judged. So it's just like the community there are so into it. It's like an idol group, basically. You know how they're like really into the idols?
Mm,
I think like that. So
that's
she could be a super fan too, like you said. So I wouldn't be surprised. But
yeah,
I want to say
either
she's a
way.
skater. She's a
I
skater.
I love that. I want her to be a skater. That is what I want.
Yes.
That is what I want. That is what we will choose to believe.
Yes, that'll be our theory
I
for
was
the
hearing.
episode.
So let's talk about, so obviously we have some opinions on the ways in which the Cherry Project specifically inspired Sailor Moon. Let's talk about some of those. Obviously, when you look at Cherry, this is your blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl with pigtails. Like look at her.
Cute.
It, Suzuki Masanori, I don't necessarily think that he is a very direct analog for Tuxedo Mask. One, he has blonde hair, so obviously that makes him completely different. And then personality wise, I think he reads pretty differently. Again, there's a sense of mystery to him. He's an older boy, there's a fascination. I don't remember if he's older. I think he's in her class, so he can't be older. But he's generally nicer
Oh wait,
than
that's a
early
Seiya character.
Mamoru.
Never mind.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
there
the
we
most
go.
generic looking of the three boys. That's because he's the main boy.
No, I totally mixed him up. That I was mixing him up with the other guy that tries to get
Oh,
her
the
to
younger
be.
skater. Oh yeah, her younger man. He was
Yeah.
very cute. I liked
I like
him.
him.
I liked
He's
him a
cute.
lot. But so that was definitely a connection. I think that there's a similarity. One of the things that I noticed that was definitely very Takeuchi is at the very beginning of the series, Cherry like reads her horoscope and it tells her that her lucky object for the day is like a crystal necklace. So specific. And then so she takes out a crystal necklace, she puts it on, and that leads to her meeting Suzuki Masanori and all these things. But he also, I think they have the same birthday. They have definitely the same star sign, but I think
Dude.
they have the same exact birthday. And so he's also like, "Oh, my lucky object is a crystal necklace." He finds the crystal necklace that fell off of her when she was skating. There's this sense of like the a mystical theme of like fate and of imbued objects having a sense of power to them. Like this is otherwise a pretty reality-based series. This is not a magical series, and yet there was still this aspect of the mystical brought into it, which was very Takeuchi.
Yeah.
So I like that.
There's a lot of skaters that have little lucky charms. I had a necklace. I had a little gold necklace with charms. Every time I completed a jump, like a new jump, like I landed a triple loop, I get a little elephant because that was like really hard for me.
Oh,
So I
that's
was like
so
always,
cool.
yeah. So I remember the elephant of
I
my
love
triple
that.
loop because I was always like instead of landing on the toe pick, I was like stumping on it for a while. So like these coach would be like, "You're like an elephant, like go like on your toes." And I was like, okay. So my little charm for that one was a neck, like an elephant.
That's so cute. Oh my God, I love
I had a
that.
butterfly, like because I did something, I forgot what it was, but it will come up to me. It's probably like for a flip or something. But I always like once I got into like the triple category of skating, started collecting little charms. And I would compete with it and it would get so thick. Like I wish I brought it with me. I should have brought it with me. I was not even thinking about that. But it's like literally so much charms to it that it's all like a clump to it, like
Oh,
the necklace.
that is so
I
So
love
cute.
that so
I
I
love
much.
know
that.
another skater has like a charm necklace. There's Yuzuru Hanyu. Everybody knows Yuzuru Hanyu.
Yes.
We all love him. He wears his necklace. I noticed a few times. I'm not sure if he has like this necklace that's like I think it's double layered. but he wore a lot of competition, so that could be his little lucky thing. He has this little Winnie the Pooh tissue box is his little lucky thing. A lot of people have like little luck. So it was like really interesting how she had a necklace, and I'm like, wow, that's very common having a little lucky charm. That sounds like a Miraculous Ladybug right there. Lucky
So
charm.
true.
So
No, and I love and then Sword Lily cosplay. Hello, Sword Lily, coming in saying, I love the idea of fate and tangible objects drawing people
Yes,
together.
yes, I love it.
it's so cute. So
So
cute.
let's talk about another of the let's talk about perhaps the most specific connection between the Cherry Project and Sailor Moon. Let's talk about, as we call her on Bishojo Senshi Slumber Party, Miss Homeroom.
Yeah, did you know
So
that she's
Miss
in there?
Harna, yeah. So Miss Harna, and Takeuchi uses the same recurring pun jokes both in Cherry Project and in Sailor Moon in the manga, that people keep mispronouncing her name because it sounds like hard and calling her Miss Hard. So there she is. She is their homeroom teacher she's Cherry's homeroom teacher. She's also Usagi's homeroom teacher. So theoretically, these two projects exist within the same universe, like
You
Cherry
gotta.
Project and Sailor Moon, same universe, because Miss Harna is the homeroom teacher in both of them. She has a surprisingly decently featured role in the story, despite just being their homeroom teacher. And I think obviously that's because the whole school festival is a big thing. But it's nice to see her there, and nice to see that Takeuchi-san decided to just bring her along when she did Sailor Moon and just reincorporate her character.
What a difference. She got because originally Cherry's the class president and then poor Usagi.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so funny. I would say that Usagi comes after. Like Usagi was maybe three
Yeah.
years below while this was
Mhm.
happening. That'd be so funny. She'd be like, "Oh, this girl, please tell me she's a president," and it is Usagi, and she's like, "No,
Yeah,
no,
Miss Harn is
no."
like,
The more
"My students are
stress.
always so exceptional. I have a student that went on to become, like, a national, pair skating champion and blah, blah, blah. My students are so great. I love them so much." And then she gets,
Usagi.
this, God's own idiot. Uh,
Coming late to school, eating lunch early.
We love a queen. We love a queen of the world.
Yep.
But I could see her teacher being like, "Oh wow, she reminds me of so much like Cherry," and being like, "Oh my god, it's not Cherry."
Yeah, being at first like, huh, blonde,
Oh, like
pigtails, blue eyes. This
so
is starting to look
exciting.
familiar.
They'd be like, "Oh my god, yes, we're going to have such a nice, smart, talented steer." Oh my god,
Oh, no.
what
Oh,
did I
no.
do to deserve this?
Oh my god. No, and then this was the cutie pie little tie-in that Naoko was like, "Hey, you like cherry?
Yeah, so let's
But
zoom in on
guess
this
what
one because
else we'd
obviously
like?"
this is very important, which
Oh,
is and go Michi, you can read it.
Okay, and now for a quick commercial break. My next project after the Cherry Project Volume 3, which you should buy, Naoko. I love her so much. Every time we read one of these little things, I just fall in love with her more. Oh my god, but is Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon. This is the series heroine, Usagi. Isn't she precious? It's amazing too because this series is going to be made into an anime. I hope you'll watch it. It's coming out spring 1992. God, I'm old. It'll be airing on Saturdays on TV Asahi. There we go. Usagi transforms into Sailor Moon to fight bad guys. Woohoo! Let's do this. That's my wish. I wonder who Usagi's modeled after. Whoops. And there's a V mask. Teehee.
So yeah, we have this heavy implication that if you liked the Cherry Project and you wanted to know who I modeled Usagi after,
I think
what
it's so cute.
Kel Kel Mystery.
It's so
It's such a
adorable.
good
I love it, and it just there's so much ties to skating, which makes sense now reading the Cherry Project, like knowing that everything that I didn't I thought it was crazy. I seriously thought I was crazy. I was like, oh my god, this looks like a skating skill. This looks like this. Why are they spinning before transforming? Like, what are you skating? I remember saying these little comments while watching it. And I'm here like, wow, it all makes sense. I was like, why are they wearing skating outfits? Like, that's it. outfit to fight bad guys? Why is it not like a full jumpsuit? And now it just makes sense. It just makes perfect sense.
Everything does is perfect, and like it's just so funny because reading this did fill in notes for me too.
It's so good. Like, I don't know. I love it. I love Sailor Moon. I love the Cherry Project right now. I'm not done with it, but I'm loving it.
Yeah,
So,
I think you will continue to love it. Like, it's short, but I think it's really
so
delightful. It's very
cute.
sweet. It definitely shows some of the things that Takeuchi likes to focus on narratively. It's really interesting the ways in which she likes these characters that are very romantically emotional. So there are times when like Cherry's entire her entire world and mentality is driven by how she is romantically feeling about Suzuki and about herself. And it's very she is completely taken away by that in the same way that you see in several of the manga volumes with Usagi when she's struggling in her relationship with Mamoru, that Takeuchi's not afraid to lean into the overwhelmingness of emotional difficulties. And that's something that she likes to explore and that she likes to be writ large and take up a lot of space. I think it's really interesting to see that's clearly a thing she likes to do with her main characters. But I also like I said at the beginning that my issue with the narrative of the Cherry Project is the same as my issue with Yuri on Ice, which is that like I and full confession, I only got through I think like 3 episodes of Yuri on Ice, but I was so upset by it that I was just like, I need to stop and I can't keep watching this. And my problem was that like I found the main character to be more selfish than I wanted them to be. And this is both with Cherry and with Yuri, where Yuri is so incredibly wrapped up in his own problems. And the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, you're telling me that you are obsessed with this guy who is at the top of skating and then suddenly out of nowhere had some sort of career crisis and gave up skating completely for a year and doesn't know what to do with himself, and you're not concerned for him. You're never concerned, like, is he going through something? Does he need help and support? No, it's always about Yuri and how Yuri wants him to be his coach and things like that. I was like, what is wrong with you? Similarly, I'm like, Cherry, Suzuki has a real problem here, which is that he loves skating and his father is telling him that in a year he can never skate again. Like, girl, maybe some more concern flowing in that direction. I think it's interesting a lot of times with these romantic stories when one character is being pitched in what I would think of as like the male love interest role and the other characters in the main character role, whether it's in one case, obviously straight relationship, in other cases, queer relationship, how the main character gets to take up all of the emotional space while the male lead is there to provide protection and reassurance and resources and all these things towards the main character. Even if the writer has created a situation for the male lead where I'm just like, but I'm really worried about Victor. Like, I like Victor. Is he okay?
I didn't think of that so much. A lot of skaters, to me, they do take breaks and stuff, and there's a lot that goes on in skating. Sometimes you just don't want to do it anymore. That's what in Victor's case, I think he was just like fell out of the love and found the love through Yuri. Now, with the Cherry Project, being in a time limit is so scary. I remember having a time limit just for like skating, being like, this is gonna be your last year, your senior year of high school, that's it. And I'm like, what do you mean? And that is so common with a lot of skaters saying, like, oh, before college, you're quitting. Like, you're quitting skating, that's it, it's done. And that's very common in the skating world. Like, once you're in high school, you're done. Oh, there's a lot of athletes that do continue skating. I tend to do a little bit during college. But yeah, then you find other interests. I don't know, maybe I feel like he is like his dad is telling him that he needs to stop after high school. So maybe he's just thinking that like doing pair skating will be something that is completely different, is escaping from what he's dealing with, if that makes sense.
Oh, I
Like he
like
doesn't
that.
want to he doesn't want to quit, but if he quits but starts something new, it will be a new career path that has to be more than a year. So maybe that's what he's thinking. He's like, okay, I'll quit right now and do something else and do pairs and be amazing. And I remember saying that like pair skating is so rare to have in a so like if you're really good in pairs, it's very possible for you to go to the Olympics. So it because it's really rare to find a guy skater equally matched with a female skater because there's a lot of female skaters out there, but getting a guy skater and then getting a female skater that is okay being thrown in the air, very rare. And for the guy skater to be strong enough to pick the skater up and throw her around. So honestly, maybe he was just thinking like, if I find that one person, I can make it and prove my dad wrong. And I think that's what he's thinking.
I like that. I
As a
love that
skater,
so much.
I
I love
think that he's thinking like, okay, it's really hard to be single skater and maybe go into championships. But if I'm in pair skating, if I find the perfect person, I will make it. And I will make it because it's like there's a small percentage of pair skaters out there. Could be the case. That's
Ooh,
why there's
I
a lot of sibling skaters because like you have the boy and the girl, easy. Go to pairs, go to ice dancing. You don't need to find the other partner, because they're right there with you.
mhm.
But if you're the only child, it's just like it's really hard to find a partner. I don't know. I think that's what he's thinking. That's like a very big strategy. Could be
Oh,
it.
no, I love that. I love that so much. And this is like, to be clear, this is a fan theories channel. So
Yeah,
I'm so glad that you came in with that. I love that.
because he's probably like just escaping. I don't know. He's just escaping from that.
Yeah, I love this.
welcome back for the second half of the secret ice skating history in Sailor Moon.
I love that you gave it the old chin check mark.
Listen, if I'm not gonna be goofy on the show, then where am I? But
So real. So real.
oh my gosh, but let's get into okay, so what do we want to have any last thoughts on the Cherry Project? Any last feelings? Like
I
any
feel like we
last
have to talk about this again when I finish it because oh my god, there's so much I could talk about.
Oh my God,
same,
do, because now I really want to know all your thoughts on it. Yes.
Oh
same.
my god, because I really want to have. Once I finish everything, I'll let you guys know because I really want to talk about everything about it.
Yes, please. It's like there's also, when you get to the end, there's also a this little side story piece that visits Suzuki's backstory before he meets Cherry, when I think he's like in New York for a year and he meets an aspiring ballerina who is also struggling in her career. And he's like, do you want to pair skate with me? And she decides, like, no, I want to do ballet. And like, it's a really cute, interesting story. So yeah, read that one too. Let's talk about
Oh
that
my
one after
god.
you do.
Wait, ballet too? Okay, so like a
Yes.
lot of
Yes.
skaters do ballet, right?
Yeah.
Because that's
Have
like the
to.
biggest
Yeah.
thing. Like I did everything in ballet. I was in point shoes too, which old coaches are like, do not do it. I had strict Russian coaches and they were like, you're not allowed to be on point shoes. And I'm like, allow putting on my point shoes. I'm gonna be on point. The reason why I got away with it was because of I didn't get as many blisters as most people do because I was not doing too many hours of point. And also my dance studio, she was super strict. She actually made a ban on skaters to be there. She's like, I don't want any ice skaters in my facility. And
Oh,
then
that's so
first thing I
funny.
did, I was like, I'm an ice skater. And everybody's like, why you did that? You're gonna get kicked out. And she's like, are you good? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you can stay. I was like, okay.
Heck
It was
yeah.
really funny. She's like, as long you still, because she doesn't like when skaters go to dancing and just only do it for skating, not
Mhm.
get better in skating. So she was very like sure. She's like, if you're gonna be a bad skater and then you're gonna be a bad dancer, then don't come here at all. I was like,
Oh, that's
okay.
so funny.
So that's
Wow.
her perspective. It's really funny. But yeah, so ballet, I'm into that too. So I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah,
It's
love
all in
it.
that beautiful Naoko Takeuchi artwork. Like, ugh.
Oh my
So
god. Oh, by
pretty.
the way, before we get into anything else, I have to ask because I kept meaning to ask in the first half of the show, like, how badly are your skating fans gonna roast me for every time that I say doubles when it pairs?
Honestly, maybe a little bit. But
Every
honestly,
time it
it's
comes
not
out of
that
my mouth,
bad
I'm like,
because when you say doubles, I think of like immediately jumps. So
sure.
like, but pairs, it's like then you keep going on. I'm like, oh, you mean pairs? Like I get that. Then the pairs, when you think of pairs, sometimes people think of ice dancing. So sometimes I make that mistake as a solo single skater. I say pairs when it's actually an ice dancing team, and I'm like, oops, I'm sorry, because they don't like to be called pairs. They're ice
Mm.
dancers. So it's just like, yeah, it's like this little thing. I don't know.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I feel like there's some sort of like, ugh, solo skaters, ice dancers, pairs, like in everything, like
Mhm,
every time. And
mhm.
it is very true about hockey players. We don't like hockey players, and hockey players don't like us. Okay, very true. Okay, they hate us
I thought
because
that
we
was
put toe picks on the ice. Okay, okay. At least we patch our own holes while they rip on the ice. Sorry, I just had to add that into this.
I love this so much. Oh my
I
god, I'm
love
so
this
glad I asked
energy.
this
Yes.
question.
But like I could see, like I don't think she's gonna put that in, but like it would be so nice if she had like this, like, oh, hockey players. We had to skate right after hockey players, like, and then you're falling down because there's a rut on the ice because they didn't like patch it up. Ugh,
That would be so
it's
good. That'd be
so
so
funny.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh yeah, like and the reason that in my brain it keeps pulling in doubles, like my mom is a really big tennis fan. And so like where again you have this distinction between like playing solo versus playing with a partner. And so
Yes.
there's just so my mind just keeps being like, oh, doubles. I'm like, no, it's not that. All
No,
right. But if the fans roast me, that's fine. I deserve it.
I
I
don't
take what is
think
coming to me.
so. I don't think so.
I'm just gonna get roasted in general because I know nothing. I just fully admit I know nothing. I'm a fan of just watching, but that's it.
Well,
That's
I
why
am
we bring
so
in an
glad to
expert guest
educate
to teach
you.
you and me. You and
Yes.
Yes.
I represent the average audience member, and we
I'll
ask
make a
the
crash
questions.
course for you guys.
I love
Thank
it. I
you.
love it. All right, so I know, Michi, you had a couple of questions from our audience that you wanted to hit. So let's try and
Yes.
do those. And we have
Let me
one from
grab
Lady
them.
Chapo that I just saw come up in the chat as well.
All right. Before Ura asks, how accurately does Yuri on Ice represent ice skating?
So funny because when I watched Yuri on Ice, I thought I was going to hate it immediately because one other skating anime, what I saw when I was little, was very not ice skating. It was just like, I wish I knew. I don't know the name of the anime, but all I know is that they do a jump and they call it like fruit prism power thing. And I'm like, huh? And they're like spinning in the air for like 5 hours and fruit be coming around. And I'm like, what is this? So like when I first saw Yuri on Ice, I was like, oh god, it's gonna be one of those. Dude, it is accurate. Like it's really good. I think the way that they explain all the points and the scores is very good for beginners. So when I was watching it, I was like, okay, that was really good. They explain how the short program is, the long program is, what the steps are, and the jumps. Like they actually did a really good job in all of it. They did a really good job on how skaters feel when they feel like a failure. Just saying, because you're representing your country and you let your whole country down and you feel like a failure. So that's one thing I could be like, wow, I could feel that. Even though it's not really that deep. Like skaters take things so harshly. So when Yuri was upset in the bathroom, like that very first scene, he was like crying, saying like I let everybody down. So much pressure in skating. Like you have one shot and it's not like you have a lot of time to practice beforehand. You could just have a bad day. You feel something like wrong. You could have a headache. Like any little thing could affect your skating and you could ruin it. Like it's so difficult. But then you think of like, I know I can do this. I know I could do better. I never do well. And being that depressed, looking at all these other skaters that you want to be there and you have like just like the dream. It's like right there and you want to reach it, but you can't. And just, it just hurts. So when I was watching Yuri on Ice, it was like during my depression because I just like got an injury in skating and I stopped. I was forced to. So I was like, okay, I guess I can go back to watching anime. And Yuri on Ice came up and I was like, wow, that hurts, but it's so true. But I love it. I love it. It made me fall in love with skating even more because like he was able to achieve his dream. He was able to do everything. The skaters were based off real skaters, so I thought that was really cool. All the drama in skating was very true. Like it's so true. But Yuri on Ice is very accurate.
That's really cool. I think that speaks to because you were saying earlier when you were saying that like the fandom and the focus around these ice skating athletes in Japan is so much more so this is they're
Yes.
idolized in a way in Japan. And I think that shows in a lot of the entire genre in anime of sports anime. A lot of times they're taking these sports and they're doing these really like sincere, deep explorations of that sport that you could only do if you genuinely like know and care
Yes.
about that sport. And I think that there's probably a reflection culturally of the fact that there is more of a fan investment in that kind of thing. Like a couple years ago, my friend and I watched the anime Remain, which is an anime entirely about water polo. And
There's an
it's just like
anime for that? Like,
yes,
anime
yes.
for everything,
There's an anime for
apparently.
everything. There's another one that I really wanna watch that is also about an obscure I wanna say it's about badminton. I think there's a badminton anime that I really wanna watch, and I have the name. I'll find it for you shortly, but we'll have to revisit that. Let's get into some of the other questions while I'm looking that up,
Yes.
'cause it exists.
Katie Chapel asks, how many competitions can skaters do per month?
Actually, the limit does not exist.
Really?
Like you can do it just depends where. It's the location. So when I was competing, I like to do competitions almost every 2 weeks just to see where my points
Mm.
are, like where it is. Again, competitions are very expensive because you had to travel to them, pay your coaches, the whole shebang. So competitions were expensive. But I did like every 2 weeks for the last 2 months before a giant qualification competition. And these are like small competitions to go into this big competitions. So there's regionals, sectionals, nationals, worlds, Olympics. And in between is the Grand Prix. So I do a lot of local competitions, which is very little. So you do a bunch of local competitions just to see where you are. And then you get into the higher competitions, like which is the qualifications. When you qualify, you go to the higher, right? It's all how you place. So before you get to the first qualification, I like to do a lot of little small competitions so then I can see where my points at, see how consistent I am, and it's a lot less stress. Like yes, it's stressful because it's a lot of other skaters are doing that too. So like there's could be a really tough competition and there could be like Olympic athletes that you're competing with, but also like how cool it is. You're competing with Olympic athletes. I remember when
Sure.
I was 14, I was competing with like my star. I was like, oh my God, I'm competing with an Olympic athlete. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm competing with an Olympic athlete. I was there with a little book, like, can you sign my book? And they're like looking at me like you're competing in this group. Like, why are you getting my
Mhm.
autograph? And I'm like, give me my your autograph, please. It's really funny, like how the small competitions could be before the qualification ones because they just put you all in a group and it's scrambled up. So you don't know who you like. For senior ladies, it's very there's not a lot of groups for it. So it's usually one group with like maybe 30 skaters in there. They don't like to switch it up. So I would just be in and hopefully I see my idol there. But most of the time I do because watch the entire event. It could take hours, dude. Like it's a long competition. But right now, for my younger skaters, I'll have them do like maybe one competition a month. I don't really like to have them too much. But when they start getting to qualifications, I'm like, let's do like maybe two a month. Let's try that. And
That's so
shows
interesting.
helps. Doing a lot of shows. Shows are nice because you can replace it with a competition because then you can just work on your performance aspect of it instead of paying so much to go to a competition. But competitions are great because you can get a critique
Right.
back from the judges so then you know how you performed. So a lot.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
No, thank you for explaining that.
Of course.
All right, the last comments. That's what I was doing.
Lady Chapel's question.
Let's see. Oh, there's so many comments. Oh, the skating dress?
Yep.
Yeah.
For beginners, I would say I like to keep it under 100. If you're a beginner, there's no need to buy a $300 dress, especially if you're like little and you're gonna grow out of it after a week. So I would say for ages beginners, let's say like 7 younger, like under $100. I love that. When you're a little bit more advanced, 200, 300 max. When you are more of an elite, you would want to have your own dress that is unique to you and your song. So those are when you get to the custom made dresses category, and that could be from 300 and up depending on what designer you have. Sometimes parents do make their dresses for the kids, which is nice. A lot of skaters, like even the skaters that went to the Olympics, they had their parents made their dresses. The moms would make the dresses for them, and they learn as they get older. It's like a little cosplay.
That's so
Like I was thinking, I'm like,
That's
maybe I
so
should make skating
cute.
dresses. I'll be
I love
so used
that.
to Fuku and be like, I should make a skating dress one day because this is basically a skating dress.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
so
should do
your
it.
fugu is so pretty.
Oh, stop. Thank you.
No, we must always talk about how
I'm
talented
blushing.
our
Oh my
guests are.
goodness.
And then last question, but oh, sorry, I see Lady Chapel has one more, but one other question. Sir Lily Cosplay came in saying that theory with the theme of destiny as well between the Cherry Project and Sailor Moon.
Love that.
Yeah.
With Destiny. It's such a cute little fairy tale. Hopefully
It,
one day
it
it will come true with people.
By the way, the name of the as it turns out, when I was looking up the name of the badminton anime that I was thinking of, I discovered that there is a second badminton anime that is called Hanebado, but that's not the one I was thinking of. The one I was thinking of is called Ryman's Club or Salaryman's Club. Here's your summary. Mikoto Shiratori, a badminton prodigy with the ability of foresight, okay, is fired from Mitsuhoshi Banking after losing a match for their company sports badminton team. So he works for like a banking company, but in their company badminton team, he lost a match and he gets fired. And he's recruited by Sunlight Beverage to play for their team. Mikoto has vowed not to play on a doubles team following an incident at his inner high match in high school. However, his coworker, Tatsuru Miyazumi, encourages him to be his doubles partner, and Mikoto must work through his past trauma to overcome the struggles in their teamwork.
Oh my
Right?
god. I
Right?
love these sports animes. Like
Like
I
I
remember
love
watching
that not
Haikyuu,
only
Blue Lock. Like I
Mhm.
love this.
I love that not only is this a sports anime, this is a sports anime about like grown ass men. Because so often your setting is going to be like high school. Like these are like salarymen employees. I'm like, tell me more. That's why I had this on my list to watch.
I am gonna watch that along with you at
All
this
right,
point because
let's watch.
I
Yes, it's
actually want to
apparently
see
12
it.
episodes long. Let's watch
That's
Ryman's
it?
Club together.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
yeah, let's do
For
it.
sure. That
Okay,
sounds so
excellent.
All
funny.
right, Relly, I'm giving you 60 more seconds of tangent and then I'm taking
No,
the
it's
wheel
fine.
back.
I'm done. Take the wheel back. Let's get back on track. This is why I can't be trusted. You have to rein me in.
I know, that's what Michi is the captain of the ship. Woot woot. All right, let's have a gay old time. All right, something we wanted to talk about was the Sailor Fuku, and we're gonna plug a former guest, Katie
So
Cosplay.
beautiful.
Mm, gorgeous.
Yes, if anyone's looking to make their own Fuku, she does have Katie Cosplay's Sailor Senshi Fuku pattern. So it's beautiful, and the Fukus come
Wait,
out
how much was that pattern?
gorgeous. The
Is it only
pattern,
five?
$5.
Yeah, $5.
What? That's
I know,
amazing.
I
That's
know,
why
I
I'm
know.
like,
Everyone,
plug,
go
plug,
get it
plug.
now. It's so
Yeah, it's a
beautiful.
gorgeous pattern.
Genuinely beautiful
Yeah,
Wow.
and
result.
she does say it size medium only, so for plus size, you would have to size up, and she does give some guidance, but she does say it is not, like, as itself plus size
Right.
friendly. But
Wow.
it's a really cool pattern, and I just figured it was a great example of a Sailor Fuku.
So pretty.
It
Sorry, I'm
is.
just admiring it right
Yeah,
now. I'm
right?
seeing it like
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, because I want to redo my skirt, and I'm
It's
like, all
so
right, that one looks really nice. The hip roll is beautiful.
I
Oh,
was looking at the hip roll too, it's
the
so
hip roll is my
pretty.
number one thing that I'm judgy
Yeah.
about on
Roll.
Fuku.
Me
Is I'm
too.
just like,
D-
if it is wrong,
I,
the whole
s-
Fuku is wrong for me.
I agree
oh,
with that. It's so pretty. And also the skirt length for me. As a skater, I'm like, I see these outfits as skating dresses, so I like the dress skirt short. So that's like how you are with the V or like that foam batting or whatever they have there. That's for me. It's like the skirt length of this fuku
Oh
because
my god,
it
I
for
love
me
that.
it
Yep.
has to look like a skating dress. So it's basically just covering the butt cheeks for me,
Yep. Yep.
just
I
just
agree. That's
right
where I want the
there.
length to be. Yep.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my god.
and $5, just $5 for
Where's
it.
my card?
By the way, Katie, if you're watching, we love you. She sometimes watches.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my god. I'm just like fangirling right now.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous. So
Yeah,
gorgeous.
so definitely you can see the design of the fuku is similar to there's a reason that everybody originally used green pepper. Like
Oh yeah.
that's just the way it is. All right. So anything else about the design of the fuku that we want to talk about in relation?
I want
Nah,
to
go
talk
ahead.
about the boots, how people do boot covers. So in
Mhm.
Yeah.
ice skates, we do have boot covers too.
Oh, really?
Um, yes, to add more to the outfit. So a lot of times in competitions they don't because of it could affect your skating and also it's like the blades getting really close to the boot can cut it and then you had to make a new one. So like a lot of times for competition, you don't have boot covers or skaters don't have boot covers, but for shows, we do most of the time. I remember I did Vogue by Madonna, that song, and
Mhm.
I wore her like she had like a booty shorts, like almost like a corset top, and her high knee high boots. So I had boot covers. So that was really cute. Sometimes they do like Tinkerbell. They put like the little pom pom on
Oh,
top and with the
cute.
little shoe because that's iconic. With cosplay, a lot of people do boot covers too. So
Yeah.
when I first heard boot covers, I was like, boot covers just to walk around in? That's a thing? Because for me, right away, it was boot covers for skating. I was like, what's a boot cover? A lot of people use boot covers for their cosplays of Sailor Moon, which I use boot covers too.
Oh, yeah, that's the even my Sailor Uranus shoes, I made boot covers for those basically,
Yeah,
'cause I'm not gonna make my own shoe.
yeah,
So,
no, it's
I'm
hard.
gonna take an existing shoe and just add what I need to it.
And also, like her design for the boots are like skin tight.
Yes.
It's like literally their skin, so it looks like it's boot covers anyway. So it's funny when you show the picture before, it really showed that Usagi had the boot. Was it Usagi or Cherry was wearing Usagi's outfit? I don't know. It was one of the. No, I think it was introducing Sailor Moon, and she had like a boot. You can see there's like a
Yeah.
boot design to it, not
Mhm.
like it's completely to her skin.
Yeah, no, the
Um,
original design with the boots and gloves were much more open and away from their bodies.
yes, there's that, and also the gloves. Gloves. We always wear gloves in skating. We love gloves. Back then it was not really recommended because it didn't look pretty, but now people are wearing gloves to protect themselves from the blade by doing like biomen, scorpions, like a lot of things using your blade so it protects your hands from getting cuts.
Oh, that's so smart. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
total sense.
so when I see that's why every time I see a Sailor Fuku and just even Sailor Moon herself, it's just like, wow, look at that little skater.
That's so fun.
Love that.
Yes, it's so pretty. It's very interesting that there's pleats to it because a lot of the dresses they're just like flowy. So having a pleated skirt is very interesting design choice that she did. Like very interesting. I don't know if that's because it's like she wanted to make it look like it's a regular skirt, but it's like I don't know. It's like the pleated skirt kind of gives me high school, like the uniforms.
Yeah.
The bows very like back then in skating when they were little, big giant bows. bow here, but the back bow, like we used to have like a chest bow almost, not as big as Sailor Moon, but it's just like a little cute little bow or
Hmm.
underneath your bust, like the rib cage, having it in front, like in where the V would be, because sometimes they put a bow there or be on your hips. So there's like different
Hmm.
places where you can put bows. So seeing bows in the Fuku was like, oh, okay. Very interesting that it's that big though. Like I was a little surprised by that when I first saw it. And the sailor collar is very interesting too, because that's not wing skating.
No.
It's
I
like
was
I feel
wondering.
like
I
it's a
was like,
cape. I feel like it's a cape. Like when I saw it, I was like, why does it look like a little cape? But it's a sailor little fit.
I think Naoko Takeuchi literally was just like, my two favorite things are like school uniforms or like the sailor aesthetic and then the
Mhm.
skating aesthetic. And then she just
Slay.
merged it.
That would explain with the pleated skirts,
Yep.
the collar, and all that.
Yeah,
But it's so cute. And I
it's
love
so
how designs later on were, because like her original designs were not it. So I wonder what like happened. I think it was something that like they didn't like the fits or something, and then she's like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and she did it, and it looks beautiful. So I love it.
honestly so fun. Do we want to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, let's do it.
This topic tonight was suggested by the wonderful Kiwi. So we decided to do some research, and in researching, another wonderful Mooney has actually done a little article that I wanted to share, and I'll link below. Tuxedo Unmasked, which is a wonderful Mooney. The real world stories behind Sailor Moon did an article named "How Did Figure Skating Influence Sailor Moon?"
So this was another point of research for us when we were looking for ways to explore the ice skating topic for this episode.
Thank
Was we found this article which gave us another angle to look at this from.
This is a great
yes.
article, honestly. I read it too a while ago. I don't remember too much of it, but I remember it being like,
Yeah, and it goes into another part that we're about to go into. So I wanted to give credit tonight for our part of the inspiration and always plug another great Mooney. Definitely check out this article. All right. You want to go over the ice skating episode first or the attacks?
let's do the ice cream episode.
Sure. Yeah.
I love that episode. I
Tell us
love it
all about
so
it.
much. I didn't expect Usagi to not know how to skate. I know she was clumsy. I did not expect Sailor Moon not to be able to skate at all. Like I thought she was clumsy and I'd be like, okay, I'm clumsy too on ground, so maybe she can skate. So wrong. So very wrong. Her outfit was like so cute. It's
Oh my
very
God. Right?
90s.
Right?
So
Let me bring up a
90s.
picture.
I
Oh my
all of the
god.
girls' skating dresses, like Mina's was
So
really cute
cute.
too. The
So
orange,
cute.
like all their skating dresses, super cute.
It's very, very 90s. And I wish we all have dresses again when we practice. Nobody skates in dresses anymore.
Look at
I
these.
They're so cute. It was very 90s. That was very like early 2000s. Like we all had skating dresses. And now everybody wears Lululemon pants and Lululemon jackets. Like that's what we wear as
Yep,
a skating outfit.
I can
No
believe
one
it.
wears dresses anymore for practices. I don't know. For me personally, I love skating in a skating dress because like jumping and spinning is very different when you're wearing a dress for me because I can
Mhm.
feel the difference. Doing the twisty turns again. But yeah, so I love
Yeah.
her dress. Her she was wearing such she gotta be wearing an expensive dress because there's that dress is not a that was a expensive dress that Usagi was wearing. Because I see Ami is wearing like a more of a practice looking dress.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like Sailor Moon was like really hoping to be this amazing skater and
Like,
went all out. Went all
this
out
is
in that
what,
fit.
like, I absolutely love, like, the reveal that she can't skate is so funny because at the beginning of the episode, she learns that Princess Serenity was apparently an amazing skater, and she's like,
Yes.
"Oh my god, I was an amazing skater. I have so many talents. Let's go skate." And then, like, she was like, "The most important things I need for skating are skates and the cutest outfit. I'll use daddy's
Hmm.
money to buy the cutest outfit. I
She
will go
did.
skate. The most important thing to her was apparently not learning how to skate. She just assumed she would just be able to do it. Like, how hard could it be? She would just have an innate talent, and then she does not. It is hilarious.
She, it really does show. You remember how I was saying that some skiers wanted to be that athlete and they buy the most expensive skier and thinking that they
Mhm.
will be the best wearing the most expensive gear. Usagi was that
That's
person.
Usagi. She's that girl. She's that
She's that
girl. She's like,
girl.
"I might go to the Olympics."
Yeah, she really tried. What caught me off guard was Jupiter. Forgot her. I always call her Jupiter. What's her
Makoto
Lita.
or Lita.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Lita? Okay.
Guess
So
which dub I've been watching.
I don't watch the dub. Wait, what's her the Japanese name?
Makoto.
Makoto. That's what it was. Makoto. So I don't know the English names. Oh my god. Wait, that's crazy. Sorry, I only know some of the English names. But yeah, so she was an amazing skater. And it was really interesting to me because there is this stereotype in the skating world is that the tallest skater is not really the best skater. Jupiter is the tallest of the scouts, like one of the
Mhm.
tallest. And here she is amazing on the ice. So that was very interesting to me. I was shocked. I thought it was going to be like Ami, like Mercury being the
Mhm.
best, or maybe Venus. But seeing that Jupiter was like the best one out there, I was like, oh, that is interesting.
Mm.
That's a little change.
I love it for her because a thing that we've consistently seen about Makoto is that she is the most overtly feminine of the characters in
Mhm.
that like she has these stereotypically feminine coded hobbies and interests, like she loves to cook, she loves like her entire apartment is full of plants. She loves taking care of plants. Like she's very romantic. She's very good at ice skating. Like she's very self-conscious about the fact that she's in this like body that people are always taking notice of because she's bigger than she's supposed to be. She's stronger than she's supposed to be. But at the same time, like her femininity is never taken away from her.
Mm.
So like I love that this was yet another example where like she's beautiful on the ice. Like
Yes.
she's just captivatingly beautiful.
I was like, I remember watching it and being like, wow, they really did it. Like they made her look so good. Yeah, because there that is a big stereotype. It's you, but from what I noticed as a coach, that usually the ones that are taller have the most like soul, the most like artistic, like because they have long bodies, long limbs, long arms, long legs. So everything they do, they can't do that fast-paced music because it will look really weird on them. When they do like a beautiful classical music piece, it just looks so beautiful on them because they just move their arms and it seems so like effortlessly. So that's what I see as Jupiter when she was skating. It's just that she's so long that like everything just looks even more delicate.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that so much.
Yeah. So like she'd be like going out and just taking her time, bringing her arm up and down and just she just glides and flows on the ice. So I could totally see that as Jupiter skating. I could see Usagi being the choppy type of person. I could see Venus being like this really cutesy like skater, like lots of pops, lots of glitter, like very girly music, showgirl kind of thing.
One thing about
Mercury,
Mina is that she
I
will
don't
never be
know.
the one who forgets to smile. She will
Yes.
smile.
Oh, she'd be flirting with the judges. That's what
So
she would be
true. That's
doing.
my girl. Yes.
I love when like skaters do a little like like a little kiss, wink, and do like the little like sexy skating. That's what Venus would do. She would totally do that. Ami Mercury, I feel like she would be a little afraid on the ice. Like everything she does is a little scary. I don't think this is her element. I don't know why. When I see her, I feel like maybe she can do well in practice, but can never compete. Like she's too afraid. Like the everybody's watching her. Like it's scary. Like she gets stage fright. I could see that as her, like her little difficulty, but she's a great skater. Just can't compete. She could do shows maybe. Tuxedo mask skating. What was that?
A- Apparently you
What
can.
was that?
Apparently you
What
can.
was that?
I was like, what? And he took the lead. Let's go Tuxedo Mask.
And then he did that. Let me make it bigger if I remember how. Yes. Ooh. He's
Oh,
like
yeah. When he throws her.
throwing
Yep.
her.
Oh, and she's probably like Cherry, who couldn't land it.
She actually, like, it's actually when she becomes Sailor Moon and when she starts skating with Tuxedo
Yes.
Mask, that's when she can
That's when
suddenly
she could
land
skate.
everything. Suddenly she
Yes.
can skate, which I love because that's so Sailor Moon.
Because, like, Sailor Moon is just, it's her new form, like, or her previous form, whatever it
Mhm.
is. But, like, when she is Usagi, she can't do it. Oh, I love that picture. That's my favorite picture of all of them.
So
I love
cute.
all those outfits. I would wear any of those outfits.
I want to know how the outers were skate.
Oh, they would win.
Oh, I
They would
Well,
just
want to
yeah,
win.
see
that's the problem.
Haruka
They
and
would win.
Michiru skating.
Ah,
They
I
would
would
destroy everyone.
just
happy Pride Month.
oh my god, yeah, happy Pride, everyone. Nothing
Happy
Yes.
to me
Pride.
about them. They would be such beautiful skaters. They wouldn't be a pairs team. They would be a ice dancing team. Ice dancing has
Mm.
the more romantic side of things. It's
Mhm.
just like I feel like I see more romance in ice dancing than it is with pairs because they're more emotional and it's all the dancing. I could totally see them being ice dancers.
And it's that, like, that ability to be in perfect sync with each
Oh
other,
my
which is so, like, which is highlighted about them in my personal
god.
favorite arc of the anime, which is the Nihilenia Stars arc, which is the best.
Yes,
When
yes.
Uranus's whole thing is that, like, she doesn't understand why she's so incompatible with Mercury, and then she's like, "Oh my god, it's because I'm so used to Neptune, who specifically matches everything she does to me exactly." Like, I'm just like, "Yes, they're so in sync."
I love that.
Ugh.
Oh, the spins that they were doing in this episode were like so like I was shocked when I saw this episode. I was like, what? I was screaming. Wow. Just thinking that skating is in a lot of animes too. It just makes me so happy. It kind of makes me feel seen in the thing. Like, because it's like,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
very rare in like cartoons for skating episodes or anything. I see a lot of like, oh, football, ballet, and all that. But then when you see an anime, there's a lot of skating and other sports that you wouldn't even think of.
Ooh,
It's
so I have to ask a question about this episode. Something that I've always wondered, and since I have you here, I'm going to ask.
yeah,
The evil couple in this, aka the brainwashed couple or whatever,
yes.
Misha and Janelyn, or in English, just Janelle. Janelle, I love her design so much. I'm obsessed with her two-toned hair. Could you get away with that as a figure skater, or would be frowned upon for you to have hair like that?
Let me bring up a picture
Yeah,
of
bring up
So,
a picture
Mercury.
if you
oh
can,
my
because
God,
I'm
that is
obsessed with her
so
hair.
good because like back in the day, I can't say because I was not in that day, but I can tell from my coaches back in the day, you do not want to color your hair. Like you do not want to have that like not normal hair colors when you're skating because when it was the 6.0, it's literally everything about how you look. And it's just like you need to be that perfect skater, that perfect girl. That's why it was very screwed back then. Like it was not very fair because sometimes skaters can't afford that $500 dress and they had a dress that they made and they judge literally at everything how you were off the ice, Paul. Even it's not that's they say they don't, but I'm pretty sure they do.
Mhm.
Like there's no fair. So they could just not like you and just give you less points.
What?
Yeah, I think that's where I Tanya comes in, where she was talking about that. It was the 6.0 system where she's like, what am I? Like, I'm this great skater. Like, I don't have everything. I'm not skinny. I'm not perfect. I don't have long legs. I'm not this perfect girl that you want, but I'm doing everything. What can you give me a break? So I think because of all that things about like opinion based judging, they made the new system called IJS, International Judging System, which everything you do has a point value, which is I love. That's what I grew up with, and it's so fair. I love that. It still could be unfair, could be, But it's
Sure.
very hard for it to be unfair because if you do it, it's on camera, you can review it, you can see everything you do. And if you got that point credit, you can fight it. Like now you can actually fight for that point
Oh,
value.
that's cool.
So
That's awesome.
let's say they called it wrong. They called the jump cheated. Like cheated means under rotation of the jump. And your coach knows it and then you know it. And they're like, hey, you reviewed it, but I think you reviewed it wrong. They can go back to it, but they usually already review it. So you don't have this problem. But you could fight for it or spins. You could be like, hey, let's go back and talk to the judges and see what's going on. And it's very rare for that to happen, but it does happen. It does happen. And they could make a mistake and they fix up the scores.
Cool.
But there is an opinion base, which is the judges' part. The judges, there's like a bunch of judges, depending on what level you are in. Sometimes there's 12, I don't know, like a bunch, not really 12. There's like a lot of judges. And they score if something is plus or minuses. So that's like the technical side. So back then, if you had two color hair, they could give you really bad points for that. They could be like, what is this weirdo doing? Now you see all these younger skaters. There's a skater, she has red, beautiful red hair. Forgot her name. She's a really good skater. I can't say it. She's one of the Russian skaters. Gorgeous long red hair. Love her. She I was like, wow, like, look how skating has come. There is the world champion. She just won this year, Team USA. Alyssa Liu. She's a young skater, very into anime. Who knows? Maybe she's a little cosplayer too, because I saw her for her Halloween costume. She was Maka from Soul Eater.
Oh, love
So
that.
she's definitely into it. She has piercings, and she has like a piercing, I don't know what's it called, like on her lip, right? Just
Mhm.
very like when you smile, you see it. Not very skater like. Her hair was not like nice, perfect hair bun. She had her hair like she just looked like she just threw it into a ponytail, had her little bangs all over the place and spray it. She just went out there, did her thing, and not even a lot of makeup on, and she won.
That's
Like that's
awesome.
why I like the newer rules because now you have more freedom, like to be your own person. So like during the 90s, I noticed a lot of Sailor Moon, a lot of the villains are a little like rebellious. So with the
Mhm.
color hair, there's the like really skimpy outfits sometimes they be wearing, those are the villains. So I think having that look as a villain back then made it seem more like a villain,
Love
like a
that.
bad
Yeah.
guy. But now you see it like, okay, it's just a normal day. Like pink hair, you can skate with pink hair. It's normal. You can walk
Mhm.
around pink hair. But I think back then it's not very like, oh my god, they have pink hair. They're a bad person. Run away.
That makes so much sense. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, I love
So
that.
that's what I see.
Yeah,
Wait,
because I
going
always
back the
wondered about her.
outfit, I forgot the outfit she wore. I just remember her hair being like two different colors.
Sailor Moon ice skating
She's got like a
episode
little lace-up corsety kind of outfit. It's pretty
with
cute,
a
I think.
bow.
Of
It's
course it
like
has a
that
bow.
doesn't seem that like scandalous in the skating world. But there is a skin rule in skating. I don't know if you know that.
What?
You're
Ooh,
not
no,
allowed to
tell
show
me.
too much skin. No, her dress was fine. She's
Yeah.
good. Cause like honestly, I maybe because in my head I was talking about it. Maybe I was talking to someone else, but there is a skin rule. You need to have a certain percentage of skin covered. Like you cannot have too much skin covered. So I actually got a deduction on a costume deduction
What?
for showing too much skin.
Oh
And
god.
it was because I was doing a Arabian like music and it was like it looks like it's a two piece.
Mm.
But it was one dress, but because of the skin tone, we colored matched so well.
Oh
They thought
god.
I was wearing a two piece.
Mm,
I did fought for it, so I got that
good.
point back.
Good.
But like that, like I said, you could fight for the points back. But the fact that they gave me a deduction, a costume deduction, I was like, are you kidding me? And it was my own design. I love that dress. I'll probably show it to you guys later.
Yeah,
But
please show me later.
it was a two piece, very cute. And like honestly, there was rhinestones on like my belly area, like stomach area. So like I'm not gonna glue
Right,
rhinestones
how
to
do you
my
not
own
know that
body.
that has to be
Like
fabric? Yeah.
I don't know. Like
Listen.
and also when you're reviewing it, you can see what you when you twist, you see the fabric, like the mesh. So I was like, how do they not know? I would never live that down. Like Costume
Angry forever,
deduction.
forever.
Yeah, so there is a skin like rule. I think they've been very lenient lately about it. But yeah, you cannot really have too much exposed in skating. So I'm surprised she didn't do that for these characters. And I think maybe it's because the love of her like the her love for this skating. She was just like really wanted a skating episode and have all these dresses. So I think she just used that to her advantage.
Yeah, I could so believe it. I could so believe it.
And I love it was titled Ice Princess. Stop. Like,
Love it.
So,
I
one last
love
thing
her.
to talk about this episode
oh wait,
is
they had new costumes. Oh, I'm sorry.
oh, go for it. No, you're fine.
No, they transform, but I can only see this much.
Their evil forms are also super cute. She again has two-toned hair,
Yes.
which I love so much. His hair turns green. Good for him.
But her
Um,
dress was not that scandalous to me. But maybe back then it would be. I don't know
maybe.
how much
I
the
don't know.
rules were back then with the dresses, but like honestly, that was still fine in
Yeah.
my idea.
So let's talk about the last big aspect about this ice skating episode, which is that we got a rare moment of getting some lore about the Moon Kingdom and actually
Yes.
Mm.
getting a scene of literally anyone else who lives on the Moon Kingdom, which normally does not happen. I think in previous shots that we've seen from the Silver Millennium era, you basically just see Queen Serenity, Princess Serenity, Tuxedo Mask, the Senshi who are all in their Fuku, barrel, and then like some soldiers running around sometimes.
Yes.
Every
Um,
once in a blue moon.
and we don't see anyone else who lives there, so we have no idea like how do they dress, what do they look like, et cetera, et cetera. And the only time that we see them is actually in this episode where they talk about how figure skating was the most popular sport in the Moon Kingdom. And you get a scene of all of these like young ladies from the Moon Kingdom who are all very pretty. They all have like seafoam colored hair and things like that, all ice skating together. And then she talks about how Princess Serenity, in particular, was really good ice skater, et cetera, et cetera. It looks like we're getting screenshots of it,
It's
which is
so
such a
cute.
shame.
Why
Um,
is this picture precious?
because
It's
it's
so
adorable, because she's
cute.
so excited that she's successfully skating. So I was like, this implies some things, which is like, one, these people get to have hobbies. Like they just ice skate. Yeah, there's their evil outfits. So she is breaking the skin roll. She's got a two-piece on.
Oh, she does have a two-piece. See, I
Yeah.
don't remember. I haven't seen the episode in a bit. But yes, no, she is breaking this. That's what it is. She is breaking it. So I forgot
So
about that. I was so
yeah,
caught up
so
in watching Usagi that I was just like
right,
not really paying
right.
attention too much of the villains.
Because look how precious she
Look
is
at
in
her. I
this
felt all on my own.
episode.
I'm so amazing. She's so cute. So the other question that this begs is like, what is the climate like on the Moon Kingdom if they just have like ice skating rinks outdoors?
Oh.
Is it cold there year round? Do they
I
have
wonder.
seasons there? Or is this like a climate controlled outdoor skating rink through magic? Obviously, we will never know the answers to these questions, but because we are also a fan theory show, I was like, we have to take a moment to talk about the fact that there is some implied lore about the Moon Kingdom that you could take from this episode.
I would love to think that it's cold there. It's like a little winter wonderland, or at least that they have long winters.
Yeah, I like
You
that
know,
too
I
because I
think
feel like
that would
that
be cute.
suits it.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, skating with that long dress must be very difficult.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
I
Probably
was
just
thinking
he's a
about that.
talent. He is
it's
a
probably like
talent.
very old school skating, like in the
Oh,
90s, like early 90s. Like I feel like it's the long dresses, like very classy. So I would think of it that she was just so beautiful on the ice. She's not like how the competition is right now. It's more of a she's just so pretty on the ice. She's like, look at her go. Like she just
mhm.
so it's so easy for her just to skate around. So she looks so graceful that way. Not like how Usagi is probably thinking of it, like jumping and spinning and doing all these things. Maybe she just skates very nicely around.
Yeah,
Do some turns.
just beautifully dancing on the ice. Love that for her.
But yeah. But yeah, I really hope it was cold. Like maybe upstate New York feel or Canada. You know how it's like long winters.
Yeah,
I
and I
feel like
mean,
something like that.
if ice skating was their most popular sport, maybe that's because it was a sport that you could do most of the year. Maybe it was
Oh,
cold there.
yes. Yeah, I feel like that could be the case.
And hear me out. Hear me out. So Mercury controls ice. Mercury just makes a skating rink on demand.
On demand. Make me ice, Mercury. Do it.
Listen, it's Mama Serenity. Mama Serenity, I don't put anything past.
Honestly, she is a bit bossy towards those small children.
So true.
So, like, in the manga, because you haven't read the manga, I will tell you that in the manga, you
Please do.
explicitly get a scene between Queen Serenity and, like, a child Sailor Pluto. Like, she is a child, and she's, like, explaining to Sailor Pluto, "This is your duty. You have to guard the time door for all of time, and you can never let anyone through.
Ah,
And these are all the things that you can never do. You're gonna be stuck there, and you're never gonna have any friends, and this is gonna really suck for you. Like, good luck." And then Sailor Pluto's just like, "Oh,
look.
okay, yes, ma'am. Okay." And I'm like, that is a child that you just told all that to.
So I have a theory she's evil. That's just my
Yeah,
own
this is
personal
yeah.
fan theory.
If you ever watch any Eternal Mooncast show, at some point Michi will tie in the fact that Queen Serenity is evil. That's her
He's
theory.
evil. It's
That's
a
just my
hit
thing.
man.
I gotta get one. Just one.
I
We love
love
it for
that.
you.
Yeah, I actually know about that scene for Pluto because I was like, there's no way. And yeah, I remember seeing that. Just little Pluto be like, okay,
Real,
I'll
real.
go.
Yep. She's trying to be so brave.
Oh my God. I can totally see it. Working with kids a lot, like sometimes if you tell them something and they really don't want to do it and they're like trying to like they don't want to do it, but they want to do it to impress you. And they're
Mhm.
like, okay, yeah. Yeah, they're like really like trying to be upset, but like happy at the same time to make you feel happy. Like I can see that as Pluto.
That is so how I read that scene because that's such Pluto's personality. She
Yeah.
internalizes all of her suffering.
Because
Mhm.
everybody else probably gets downtime for hobbies if Serenity is going skating, but poor Pluto doesn't get anything at the door.
Nope.
Poor Pluto. She's pretty.
Oh,
All of them are pretty. They're all pretty.
They are. They are.
oh, okay. Do we want to move on, or do we have anything else about this that we
Yeah,
want to
we
discuss?
only have 30 minutes left.
Who knew? There's so much to talk about with ice skating and Sailor Moon.
I'm like, do we need to do a part two?
We
Like, I'm
might
starting to feel
have
like we might
to.
have to.
I think we have to.
Shockingly, yeah.
I'm
Well,
like so shocked because I was like, how are we going to talk about Sailor Moon for this long and skating? I feel like there's not a lot. And then here we are. We're like, we need more time.
We worked hard to put together an outline for this episode to make sure we would have enough things to say.
Now you have more than enough things to say.
It's
yeah, so
true.
maybe
Audience,
if
by
you're
the way, I
getting.
hope you're enjoying my dog nesting in you can see him like with his
Oh,
nose pushing the blankets around to make the bed the way that he wants it.
that's so
Um,
cute.
yeah, now he's circling and he's down.
Yeah, if you're interested, maybe we'll have you come back for a part two of ice skating because we have so much still to talk about.
Yeah,
It's
if
so
we don't
good.
get through Prism on Ice, yeah, we can come back and find more things to talk about Prism on Ice.
I
Sure.
think Kiwi, do you totally get to decide how would you like to go about this Prism on Ice first?
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot to talk about Prison on Ice because I would like to talk more about other shows as well that they do. So that might be later on and maybe a part two.
Okay, so
That
why
Okay,
don't
could
we
we
be
can do
it.
that.
go? I'm sorry, go ahead, Relia.
Oh no, I'm down for that. That sounds great.
All right, so do we want to do then the attacks and
Yes.
transformations?
Yes,
Yes.
There's so
Okay.
much
yes.
to talk about this too.
Ugh.
So
I know.
there's
That's
so
why I
much.
was like, I'm leaving it up to you. Whatever
I
you
have
want.
I have a lot to say about both of them. I almost forgot about the transformations and the attacks. Like I literally almost forgot about it. That's why I was like prison on ice because that's the next thing. And I'm like, oh my god, there's more.
I know. That's
There's
why it's
more.
like,
Yeah, we
no,
gave you homework.
I
we
love
did.
that. You guys are amazing. Seriously.
Aw, thank you. And then let's
You
see
are the
where.
one who is making this episode good, so you are amazing.
Yes,
Stop.
100%.
Stop.
All right. Do you want it in any order or?
Nope. Just lay
Okay,
it on me.
we're just gonna do it random.
Yay.
All right, but this one I thought was a good example of at least the from what I limited knowledge thought of ice skating.
Oh, for sure. With the turns, like almost every transformation or attacks that she puts in has a turn, like spinning.
Yes. And I
That's
thought
very
that'd be like,
interesting.
what go with about her arms?
So for me, like at the end of it, I feel like it wants to be a scratch spin, which you put your leg over, but she's doing it on one foot. So you're putting your leg up side to side. So I
Oh.
feel like artistically for like over there is more of a cross. But
Yeah.
I think because it would look weird to have it completely cross in the animation, she put it up to the side. So yeah, like you see how it's
Oh.
sideways there,
Mhm.
almost like a
Oh.
PK. Yeah. So that was really interesting. Doing arms up, that's a very like spicing things up. Just adding more creativity in a spin. But also at the very beginning, it almost looks like she wants to do a layback spin, which is when you lean back. You probably know you've seen it. It's like the very like famous thing to do in ice skating. If you
It's
think people
Yeah.
beautiful
think of
because it's
like
beautiful.
layback spin, it looks like she was going into it and then she just decides to do a 1 foot spin, which is
Let's
very
see.
pretty.
I think I have it in crystal form too.
Yeah, let's look at it.
Yeah. Me. And all credits are going to be linked on our YouTube for these videos.
Perfect.
That was much clearer. They kept it the exact same way it was.
I didn't see all of Crystal. I'm such a big 90s. Yeah, it almost looked like a layback spin. It really does. Or going into like a scratch spin, but she just goes side to side, which was very interesting, but it's still so pretty. And the center, they're centered. It's
Yeah,
so
look.
funny because I was talking to my student today. She competed. My skaters competed today, and they were doing a similar spin to that, and it was
Mhm.
not centered. It was like traveling, and I was like, "Where are you going? You're going to Japan? Like, you're just you went from over there to over there." And I was like, "We'll see if they will count it," because I'm like, "That's not great." But she won first, so I'm very happy. So
Awesome.
it was her
That's so
first
Yay!
time getting
awesome.
first place
Oh, good
with
for
me as her
her.
coach. So very great.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
Very happy. She works really hard. And I will say a shout out to her because she loves Sailor Moon too. Yeah, hi Maya.
Yes, we love it.
So I told her to come here today.
Yes.
But yeah, it really looks like a scratch spin.
All right. So let's go to the most famous one, I think.
Yes.
Like this is the one immediately Kiwi and I had like the same brain cell hit and
There
we
was
were
also
Mhm.
like,
another one which maybe you'll be getting, but this one's the one I think of first.
yes. All right. So this is the moon spiral heart attack.
Oh,
And
that's the
then
one I was thinking of. That's the exact
Okay,
one I
yeah,
was
this is
thinking of.
it.
Okay, so we all had the same brain cell. Yep.
yay, brain cell. All right. So let's
Very
watch this.
spinny.
So much spin and such good music. So let me make sure it's not too loud. All right. Right, the rest is just them dying, but
When I
you know,
first watched this, I was like, this is a skating like spin. Like she's just
Mhm.
doing a combination. I remember I used to be screaming. I'm like, she's just spinning. What is this? I'm like,
Mhm.
just put your foot up to let it be counted as a sit spin. Why you're doing that? I remember you yelling at the screen.
that's
That's so
amazing.
funny.
I remember because I was watching this episode when I first saw it with The Last Black Moon, and I was screaming. They're like, shh. I'm like, it's not. I was like,
That's
that
so
is almost
funny.
a cis spin. You can't tell me that's not a cis spin. You can't tell me that's just this. Oh my God. I remember seeing this. I was just
No,
yelling at the screen. It's so true though. I just loved it.
It's
Like,
so
okay,
Like
but
great.
it's
you're
a
right
one
though.
foot
You're
spin
correct.
there. Like she's goes. I'm like, come on, just put your leg up. It was so cool. But it's very interesting that she has her hands up like this because when you are like skating, when you're that low, that makes you go slower, right? Because if you're like when you're spinning, like you're spinning on a chair as you pull in and a rotate like a rotating chair, the rolly chairs they call it or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when you're spinning in that as a kid, if you squeeze in tight, it goes faster. If you put your hands out, you go slower. So in reality, she's probably spinning really slow there in that part. Because I'm like, how is that happening? But also, she's like a little superhero, so of course everything just works well with her.
Yeah, she has
Right.
her magic powers.
Oh, I love that pose. That pose is so
It's so
cute.
good. It's
I
so
think
good.
the
Honest.
other pose she did first was a very like interesting. I think she did, yeah, like the first one. Yes, that pose
Mhm.
that she did there is a very common pose now. Like it's very trendy in
That's
skating.
so
There we go.
So
funny.
instead of having the leg to the side, it would be more behind you, and it would be two arms up and lean back, or touching the ice, or even doing something like that. Like that is very common because it's a very easy pose for little kids to do and older skaters to do. So it's a very dramatic pose, we call it. And now we're allowed to be on the ice again to pose. So like when I was skating, we're not allowed to have a certain amount of weight off like the ground or leaning on the ice. So there's certain slides we can't do because like we're not on the blade. You had to be a certain percentage has to be like control. Now, like as long you're on the ice and you're really spinning on the ice, like you could be on your knees and turning around on the ice with no blades on the ice. As long as you have control, it counts and it does not count as a fall. So it's all about control now.
Good.
So now you can
That makes
literally
sense.
have no blades on the ice, which
So
is so
cool.
weird. Yeah, so like that's a very common pose right now because that's one pose that you can do with control and no blades on the ice, which is so funny. So that is like everybody does that pose now.
That's
The
so
Sailor Moon
funny.
pose.
It is so funny.
It's so cute. Control and power. I see someone in the chat saying that. Agreed. Agreed. There's also, I love it. It's just so pretty. I love how she has the hair going out because that is so true. Everything goes out.
No, it's so cute.
You're sitting, everything comes out.
It's
The
interesting that.
poses.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just the poses. It's just like, it's so perfect. So pretty.
They definitely thought a lot about the body movements
Yes.
because even here where she's spinning,
Yeah, like all of this is like very, like, you can't really do that in a spin. Like, in reality, maybe someone will have that power to do it or somehow control and master it one day in the future. But like leaning back and leaning forward, like that slowly would not really work. Like, especially leaning back to go forward, but going down to go up works. That can be called an illusion if you go down and up. I'm using that as the head. I'm doing like skating phrases over here. My little dancing, my little dancey dance. And every time I move my arms, I keep messing up the camera.
okay.
Um, oh, that's a cute pose too. Like that's a skating pose. Like sometimes you'd be gliding on the ice and you just be like, ah, ta-da, I'm here.
I know this
Um,
one is just chock full of them, I think.
yes, this one has a lot, and this is very skating like, especially that sitting down and just turning. I'm like, just put your leg out so it doesn't count as a sit spin. Just count it. Just count it as a sit spin. Oh my god.
Oh, okay,
One day I'll be Sailor Moon on the ice and do it.
please.
I
That would be
will.
so cool.
One day I will. It's just so I did skate in December as Sailor Moon in an outdoor rink. My
Yeah?
whole yes, I did. I never posted it because I was more embarrassed that my coworkers were there. They all know I love Sailor Moon and they also like
Mhm.
Sailor Moon too. But I picked a day where they're not going to be there. But they were there to celebrate the holidays with everyone, like with their family and like their kids. And I was like, of course I'm here with Sailor Moon. And then their kids would be like, is that Sailor Moon? And they're like, what? And yeah, so I was a little shy there, and it was like very crowded session because it was a public session. So I get really shy if I'm in cosplay and skating because I'm like, everybody's watching me already, and now they're going to be watching me even more because I'm skating in cosplay. The wig is so hard to skate in. Oh my god, I don't know how.
Really?
Okay, so my wig weighs a lot. I'm not sure
Mhm.
if I ever told you guys that, but my wig is like a good 6 pounds probably because I do not want to sculpt that way because I want to have freedom to restyle it as I please. So it's just a lot of wig hair. There's a lot to that wig.
But it's so
Um,
good.
yeah, thank you. I love that wig. That's like my first sculpted wig that like, or not sculpted, like full wig styling that I ever did. So that wig is very precious to me.
Oh.
Yeah. So that just wearing that and spinning, it just feels like my head is gonna rip off.
I can
Oh.
So
believe it.
I'm sure that Sailor Moon, when she's doing that, everything is like ripping, like it's like pulling your hair so hard. Like there's no way. I don't know. It's painful because I remember like I have long hair too, but like when I have my hair in a braid and it'll be out, I can feel the pressure pulling, just pulling
Mhm.
out. That's why a bun is so nice because it's in your head and
Right.
won't
Yep.
move. So Usagi's beautiful hair, ouch. Literally ouch.
I can imagine.
Oh
Because
my
it's
god.
being pulled on, like, by all of that centrifugal force as you're
Yes.
spinning around with it. Yeah.
Yes. It that must be painful and I don't know how she's still spinning and she's doing that for so long. Couldn't be me, dude. Couldn't be me.
So much spinning.
So much. Yeah, when I did it as Sailor Moon, it was just like, okay, I need to figure out a different way or make a different wig that's like half of this wig.
Right.
Something
One
for
day.
just that kinda no, I have
Yeah.
Neptune wigs for certain occasions.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
that type of person where I'm like it's like if you want one that can go in water, one that
This one here, I agree. I agree. I did a which one? I think I did Neptune. Yeah, I was skating as Neptune a little bit. That one was a little bit easier because it's like a little flowy. And it's not like there's just one area where it's like a ponytail that could rip your head off. So
Right.
at
yeah,
least with that one, everything flows nicely and it was like very even to spin.
and then we have a comment that I just think is so cute. Do you think having buns would help as a buffer to pulling off the tails?
Yes, a little bit.
Honestly,
A little bit.
right? But yeah, agreed.
Yeah, if she had like just space buns and not the ponytails or like the pigtails, she has so much hair. She would need to have like four.
I
She has
know.
way too much hair.
Just too much hair.
Like that bun would be like like this. I don't know how she does it.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Oh my
Alright,
god.
and then we wanna look at Princess Kaku's transformation?
Yes,
Ooh,
I love
okay.
her.
Yes, this was
What
one
a
that
queen.
Kiwi suggested.
Yes, she was cute. I love Princess Kaku.
There we go. Oh,
Look at those nails, girl. Oh, love that.
Costume violation.
So true. Too much skin.
Too much skin. So one thing I want to say is that her ending pose is a very common pose. So like you know how Moon, the one that I said that her legs were down and that was a very common pose. Before that, because the we had that rule that you're not supposed to be a certain amount of weight off the ice. So this cross leg is everyone had this. If you look at skaters, that most like at least 75% of skaters, maybe 80% of skaters, their beginning pose is whatever she's doing from her legs, like the cross. And
Mhm.
they're doing something different with the arms. They can be like here, they can be there, hands on hips. So like the arms could be anywhere. There's probably a skater that did that with their arms at some point. But the leg position is exactly what I do a lot in my programs when I was younger. I remember doing those a lot, and there's a lot of skaters that still do that. So that is a very like common skating pose.
Oh, that's so cool.
But
love
costume
that.
violation for sure. because my outfit was
Yeah.
like very similar
Mhm.
to hers right there.
Mhm.
It was a red dress.
That's
Too
so
much
funny.
skin.
Oh, brother. And then let's go to the next one. It's so funny. Oh, no. Let me go. There we go. I think, yeah. This is the one. This is the big one.
Oh, this is her best transformation.
Yes.
Literally, so on Bishojo Senshi Slumber Party, we're doing a rewatch of the entire 90s series, and the entire time when this was her henshin sequence, every time we would be like, "Oh, this is her most beautiful henshin." And like
Oh,
I would talk about it, I would be like, "It's this one.
It's
Come on,
one, not this one.
where the hands go." But
I
this
love
is
that.
it's her prettiest one.
All right, let's watch.
Let's watch it. Oop, there she goes.
It started right there. That's just a leotard. So I'm like,
Yep.
Yes. That is
like
literally a base leotard for skating dress
Yep.
or
too
even a
funny.
ballet outfit.
That's what else I was thinking.
Ballerina like. These arms.
Oh, why are the arms?
This is so beautiful. That's like what like a lot of things with arms, even in ballet, but like a lot of the twists like that, a lot of skaters do. Just a little twist. A lot of the Russian skaters like to do like the
Ah.
arms like that. That this is actually the one I was looking for. I thought it was crazy. Oh my god, that is a stag jump. That is an actual like I was okay. So I was gonna message you, and it was like there is one that has their leg like this. I was gonna send you a picture of me doing it. Okay, I was like that close, and I thought I was like, no, I'm crazy. Like there's no like maybe I just made that up in my head. Like who knows? Like I'm not crazy. There is
You're
that's
not
there is.
crazy. Fully real.
Oh
No,
my god,
you are
that's so
so
funny.
valid.
Dude, I seriously I was trying to find this exact one and you found it. And I'm so happy you did because this is exact that is a skating move right there. Instead of leaning back to it would be like a little bit more straight up. It's like a split jump, right? But the front leg is bent. So that's called a stag jump.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so that is a very skater like
That's
so
awesome.
like if you rotate it, like how my phone likes to keep rotating my screen. So if it goes rotating that way, that would be a stag jump.
That's
So
so
yeah,
It's
cool.
beautiful.
it's so pretty. Ugh, I'm not crazy. Okay.
You're not.
No.
I love her arms. Just like it's just so pretty. It's like ballet like. It's just so nice.
Oh, I
It's so
bet
satisfying.
it is. No, for some reason, even our comment sections like being flooded right now saying
Yep.
the same
Yep.
things.
It's the best
These were trans.
transformation. So
Yes.
amazing. Iconic. Yes.
How much time had passed? So amazing. Yeah, like
It's
everybody is
so
feeling it with us.
beautiful.
All right, so this is another one Kiwi found. All Sailor Guardians
Yes.
transformed Sailor as the movie, which is mwah, good movie. All right,
Yes.
let's watch. That
Does
just
it spin
basically
again?
doing, yeah,
Just doing that
Yep.
scratch spin, 1 foot spin with arms overhead.
yep. Like for some reason in Sailor Moon, they really like that one,
They
but it's
love
so good.
that. Like almost all of the transformations had that. The Leo.
What is
That
that?
so pretty. So
Ugh.
for me, I feel like this is getting close to rhythmic gymnastics. I'm not sure if you noticed that.
Oh
Mhm.
You
yeah.
Mhm.
notice? So like, because a lot of skating looks very rhythmic gymnastics like too. And Sailor Moon with all those ribbons everywhere, I'm like, maybe there's some rhythmic gymnastics she puts into it.
be an
I could
interesting
see
deep
that.
dive.
Yeah, because like that is definitely a rhythmic gymnastics move because I seen that and it's so pretty. But in skating, just having that's like if you have a partner and you put your leg up and the partner will hold the leg up and while they're spinning. So that's like a very pretty if you put that into the skating side of things. But yeah, that is just so pretty. That is definitely a rhythmic gymnastic move. It's so pretty.
And then
Yeah,
there's
that's the
your
sag.
the other move
That's
you
the
talked
sag that
about.
I keep thinking I'm crazy, but I was looking for it solo. But yes.
And then, oh, that's
The twist.
and then of course her pose.
So if you look at this pose right here, if she had the front leg, the one that's on the left side of the screen from what I'm seeing, if that one was bent and facing that way, that's a very skating like pose. Because if you're just standing up straight with both legs locked, it's very awkward. I don't know. It's a very awkward pose, I feel. Even if you're just walking around doing that pose, it's
Yeah.
just like weird. It was like a weird feeling, but it's so iconic as Sailor Moon. But for skating,
Yeah.
I'm like doing that. It's like you could and you just turn around. Like it could work, but it's just like, why is your legs straight? Like it's a weird
Yeah.
pose because usually you have like a little dynamic to it with one leg bent. I
Yeah,
know there's a lot of times, like when I see it, I'm like, "Ooh, I could do that at skating," and I try doing it on the ice. I'm like, "This looks weird on me."
yeah. I will say from the standpoint of someone who does visual art, that pose, like that's a very from the like hips up, fantastic pose. She's got
For
like her one hip
sure.
akimbo, like it's very dynamic. She's creating triangles. On the bottom, it's so stable that it is too stationary for it to be interesting because not only are both of her legs
Yeah.
straight, her weight is evenly distributed between the two legs. Neither one of her
Right?
legs is bearing the weight, and that makes it like she can't immediately move from that pose. She would have to
Mhm.
shift her weight to one leg in order to move, which means that this is a very static pose. And that's like so you're responding to that idea of like it looks weird, it looks a little bit awkward, even though it's you can stand in that pose. There's nothing like weird about it, but like
Mhm.
it's your eye is catching on the idea that this is inherently too static of a stance for it to be
Yeah,
appealing.
I agree. It just like it looks great in drawings, but doing
Yeah,
it in
but like
person,
imagine the same
kind of
pose,
awkward.
but she's got all of her weight on her forward leg, so it's straight up and down, and then her backward leg
Yes.
isn't bearing weight and is just pointed
Yes.
beautifully. Like same pose suddenly
Exactly.
becomes really pretty.
Exactly. Perfect explanation.
No, and then as much as I'd like to go over the other scouts, I just looked at the clock.
Yo, real.
I think we have maybe time for one more, which I think this is her first
Yes.
transformation, which we can't not.
Yeah, let's look at it.
Okay.
Moon crystal Mars
Oh
star
yeah,
Well,
this is not whatever this is, it's not that. This is definitely like okay, there we
there we
go.
go.
Mercury's
Ah!
transformation is so beautiful. The spin where she does a back bend
Yes.
in the middle of it, it's so fast, but, like, if you watch it at half speed, it's so beautiful.
It is so pretty. Like all of them are doing like little skating like turns. Jupiter definitely for sure.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I love the little kicks
And
that
the
Jupiter does
little
in
Oh
her spin,
yeah.
it's so cute.
I love that amount of
Venus is
sass
like, "I will
Oh
Venus
not
yeah.
has.
spin. I will simply stand there while the transformation happens."
Exactly. You had to spin around me, not I
Mhm.
spinning for
Mhm.
you. But I really like the
Got
Sailor
it.
Moon transformation where it shows every little detail of this dress, like basically showing it's very similar to a skating dress. So cute. It's perfect. She's so cute.
Well, the temple dive.
I think it's
Yay!
so
Thank you,
cute.
Kirk Render. Yeah, like that was so fun, and like we could go over more, but unfortunately, we just run out of time.
Next time.
Next time.
Part
I know, come
2.
on. So that's if part 2. I think it's fun because this was such a
It
fun
really
episode to
was.
do.
was. It really is. And I definitely want to finish the Sherry project. I could totally talk more about that.
Oh my god, we'll talk more about it in part 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
For sure.
And with that, we come to the end of our show. We've got some more awesome topics lined up for the rest of season 4, so please stick with us to see what we've got cooking. Next month, we're diving into the history of Sailor Moon music in the anime with a returning special guest, the Last Black Moon, who we all love. That's going to be on July 12th, and Bishojo Senshi Slumber Party is going to be off that month. So we hope that some of you will join along with us for the next stream and share your thoughts there too. We are so glad we could bring you this month's episode. We'd especially like to thank tonight's special guest, Kawaii Kiwi Cosplay. Please go ahead and tell yourself a little bit about yourself. Where can people find you follow you on the web?
So you guys can find me on Instagram. My username is Kawaii Kiwi Cosplay. TikTok is kawaiikiwi.cos and YouTube is Kawaii Kiwi Cosplay. And feel free to message me about anything because I love to answer back. And anything about skating, definitely hit me up because that's my life. Okay, that is literally I eat, sleep, skate. I do it all the time. So literally anything. If you want me to help you with learning how to skate, or if you want just to see some skating stuff, feel free.
All right, bet. I'm absolutely going to hit you up because you and I are going to watch Ryman's Club now. We're
Oh,
going to
for
watch this
sure.
badminton show together.
For sure. Let's go.
All right, awesome. So, thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the show tonight and you want to see more, please follow us on our socials. All those links are going to be in the link tree in our description. For previous episodes of Eternal Mooncast, they are available on YouTube. Remember to subscribe and think about hitting that bell to receive our notifications. It would really help YouTube to make sure we can keep growing our little community by telling the algorithm that people like us. In addition to Eternal Mooncast, you can also find episodes of our sister show, Bishojo Senshi Slumber Party, on BSSP. We're currently rewatching the original 90s English dub of Sailor Moon and reacting to that. We are just starting into season S, so we're very excited. For our watch along reactions, those are all available on our Patreon for free, and we get together every month for a live stream discussion where we talk about what worked, what didn't, and which monster of the week we'd smash or pass on. Our next discussion episode will be streaming on June 21st with Fancy Ducky and Rizuki as well. So we're going to have the full complement of all 5 BSSP hosts. Thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with us to the end. I've been your co-host Relia, and my socials are popping up on the stream screen below. To follow my cosplay adventures, I'm relialakedaemon on Instagram. To follow my artwork, I'm Relia on Blue Sky and Art Crystals on Tumblr.
As always, I've been your host, Michi. You can find my personal socials at MEW21. For my K-pop reactions, along with my friends over there, you can follow us at K-Pop Voyage. They're always fun. We just reacted to Cat's Eye. Any likes, comments, follows, or however you'd like to support the show in your own way means the world to us. We appreciate all the comments on YouTube. As a quick reminder, these are just our personal opinions, and we celebrate all respectful Moonie opinions here. We're working hard in this place to be a show for Moonies to come together and discuss their theories, their love, and passion for Sailor Moon. Remember, as Usagi once said, being a cute superhero and a student is
Real.
exhausting. Good night. I know, right? I thought that was a good way to end this kind of episode. All right, good night, everybody.